Welcome in, my favorite gamer words. And today's early Friday stream. Welcome in, everybody. My apologies if I'm a little bit more quiet today because, at least in the meantime, till I get into the groove of things and forget my surroundings as per usual. Because my dad and his fiance, are up and about right above my head. And I get a little bit insecure, a little bit insecure when they're around. Cause I'm just like, okay, so what can I actually say? Obviously, no in words or anything spicy like that, because YouTube won't like that. But what else can I? What else should I possibly not say around my father and his fiance here? Yeah, yeah. Just make me think of it a little bit. And then give me like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, even less than that, and I'm like, okay, I've already forgotten. I'm like, I'm in the game, I'm talking with you guys, chat, we're saying slurs and everything. It's totally fine, especially with today's topic at hand. Say what you feel about supporting your new mother-in-law knows what she's married into. I mean, we actually had quite a nice chat. Right before stream started, we talked for like 20 minutes about random things and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was nice. It was very, very nice. And then it's like, like I'm pretty quiet though, all things considered in real life. And but I'm like quiet, wholesome, don't really talk about various things, keep to myself, all that fun stuff. Get downstairs, turn on the stream. And was everywhere. The Jews did 9. The Jews did 9. I was gonna say something spicier than that, but I realized we're only like 5 minutes in the stream, and it's like maybe I should. Besides the fact that my dad and his fiance are upstairs, maybe I should also consider that we're 5 minutes in the stream. I need to be a little bit closer there. You can use euphemisms like jit. I mean, I guess, yeah, but that's no fun. Okay, I'm not very clever. I like getting straight to the point. I state what it is, and then I be like, oh, woe is me. Why are they after me? Quangos? Okay, so I know I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion here, but I don't like quangos. Cause I know it's from the Rupert Lowe's video on when he was launching Restore Britain as official party, but quangos mean a quasi a government thing. That's what it actually means. It doesn't mean illegals or browns or people in general. They're basically NGOs. That's what they are. Like, and people are using the word quango as a euphemism for the browns and stuff like that, which, I mean, I guess it works. I'm not completely against having more slurs for brown people. But it just seems, it just, I don't know. It doesn't seem go the right way in my opinion when it's supposed to be a quasi government. Do any of the Americans making the quangos jokes know this? What? That it means a quasi government? I don't know. Like, because I just been people seeing it using as like, for basically illegals and immigrants. And it's like, that's not what it means. Hold on, let me pull up the quango definition here. It's a semi-public administrative body outside the civil service but receiving financial support from the government, which makes senior appointments to it. So, but basically, an NGO in my book, basically, where it's I mean, I guess it's supposed to be non-government entity is what an NGO actually is, but it's acting with the government without actually having support of the government. A quango is having the financial support of the government, but it's still acting like but it's not part of the government, and it's very much a British thing. Oh yeah, because that actually means quasi NGO, so I was really close. That's what the NGO part of quango is literally NGO. It means quasi NGO. So I was pretty fucking close on that actually, which is why I don't really like using it for immigrants, because immigrants, like, I feel like there needs to be a distinction between criticizing immigration and criticizing government. Like, I get the governments are the ones that are bringing all the immigrants in because they're just a bunch of globalists, but though it, but those are the people instigating everything. It's the immigrants that are causing all the problems. So, in that case, like, there's two distinct parties as to why we have the problems we have today. It's the governments and then the immigrants that they're importing in. Well, conflating the two with them together into a quango doesn't really. I don't know. Like, obviously, if people want to use it like that, I'm not gonna stop them. I don't really care. Like, it's not. I'm not gonna be the fucking grammar police here, or a grammar Nazi. You know, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. But that's why I personally don't actually use it, because, well, I don't. I'm not. I don't want to change the definition for a word. Um, I mean, most of those NGOs are involved with trafficking brown, so it kind of fits. But yeah, I mean, it kind of does, but not at the same time, because it's, like I said, there's a difference between the people doing it and the actual immigrants themselves that are causing problems. And when we start conflating the two of them, we're muddying the waters here. Um, like, it just. I mean, don't get me wrong, quangos is a funny word. I hear quangos and I think Mexicans and I think browns and I get to laugh at them. But that's not what it means. But I don't. It's really not that deep. It's not that big of a deal. It's just my personal opinion on this situation. Um Why do the British need to add so many more words when Americans have already figured it out? They have a different culture than us. Like, the British and the Americans are different at this point. Yeah, we have a lot in common. Obviously, the language, but they're different, and that's okay. Congo receives government money and regulates various sectors on a government's behalf. As a way to install their unaccountable buddies, when anything bad happens, they can say they're independent. Yes, exactly. Which honestly, we should. So when Low made his Restore Britain ad or video, I guess it technically is an ad, to celebrate that, when he said quangos, it was perfectly within the context of British politics, because they actually have a lot of quangos there. We don't really have quangos in America. We have mostly just the NGOs themselves, the actual real one. Versus the British government relies on them a lot, actually. And so breaking them down, like he was saying, because he was talking about dismantling them, makes perfect sense for British politics and within the context of what he's talking about. And it should be celebrated, but it's not the Browns. it's just not the Browns. So um but like I said, it ain't that deep. I'm not gonna, like, fight this whole battle and just start like a Twitter crusade or whatever the case is and be like, oh, how dare you misuse a word. I don't care. I don't care. There's a lot of secret societies in Britain. Well, if that's in that case, there's a lot of secret societies in America too. But yeah, Pringles count for around half of all UK government spending with little accountability. Yep, sounds about right for what I know about British politics. It's so funny. I get how. Okay, I shouldn't say it's funny, because this is how the internet works, right? So when you tweet out something, when you post, I've been thinking recently, I need to switch over to the new lexicon, because I keep on saying Twitter and tweeting and that kind of stuff. Because I'm so used to the old days of how, because Twitter's been around in culture for such a long time. And it doesn't help that if I listen to any old videos or anything like that, they always say Twitter too. But it's been so many years now since Elon bought it, and he's clearly made it into a good platform. I should probably call it X. But X is such a stupid name. I know this is an old fucking horse that's already been laid the rest in the ground. It's 6 feet under. The daisies have risen and fallen with the seasons. The X is such a dumb name. So maybe I should call it Zitter. I don't know. But I probably should out of respect here. But I also kind of find it funny dead naming it too. Because I remember there's a tweet, because when he bought Twitter, the left was like, I'm not gonna call it X, that's stupid. And it was like somebody with like a trans flag in there, and he responded to them being like, how dare you dead name? Or it's like dead naming okay now. Something along those lines. And I'm just like, ever since then it's been scorched into my memory. I can't remember anything else. I can't remember anything that's actually useful, but I can remember Elon clapping back, as the kids say, about dead naming on fucking a tranny on Twitter. Oh, there. And since then, I don't know. I kind of like calling it Twitter because I'm dead naming it, and it's funny, even though like it's kind of disrespectful in the context since Elon actually bought it and made it a decent platform. But still, I don't know. Okay, I'm a woman. I can't think for myself. I'm hypocritical. I go all over the place. Okay, whatever excuse I can use this time. I have a hat right here. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should get an actual hat and have like paper little slips on it and be like, what excuse can I use today for me being a woman? Is it period? Is it simply having a vagina? Is it no accountability, no responsibility, hypocrite, whore? You know. And I just like mix it around, stuff around, pull it out of the hat. Okay, so you are retarded. Okay, that works too. No, his naming sense sucks. No name for that kind of respect. I guess, but still. Saturn wasn't a retrograde. Oh, that's clever. That's really clever. Because I think Mercury is in retrograde. I saw some random post about it. Oh, and I was just like, why is this popping up? I'm not part of astrology Twitter. Thank you, Humble Creason, for the $2 reviews. Thank you. And what version of the fan art is now on the server? Oh, I need to grab that before the mods delete that. Oh, yep, I need to grab that before them. Oh, I need to grab all of them. Hold on, mods, don't delete this just yet. I need to see these images real quick. Hold on. Grab them while you can if you're in the Discord server. And I can't show them on screen for various reasons here. Okay. Let's see. We got that. Okay, this one's cute, so I'll save this one too. Thank you, Humble Priestman, for these. I greatly appreciate them because I love them so much, and I will definitely use them when I have the opportunity arises. Okay, now mods, you can delete this. Actually, I guess I could probably delete it myself. I am technically here. But I don't like moderating my server because that's mean. But fine, I'll do it because I'm a strong, independent woman. There we go. So thank you, Hungle Creators, for that. Your work was greatly appreciated. They have been saved and lost in time. Thank you, Watchman, for the $4.99. Thank you. So, Quango is fascism, a quasi-non-governmental organization working jointly with the government and its functions, or am I stretching it a bit far? I don't know what I would call it so far as fascism, personally, myself. But I'm also kind of retarded. So, but at the same time, I can definitely see the argument for it. Like, there is definitely an argument that the British government is actually a lot more fascist than what the leftists want to think they say they are. It really is just authoritarian just in general. For those kind of things. But I could see the argument for it, frankly. So I don't think you're stretching it too much. I'll let the Brits actually decide on that though. Who came up with the design for the campaign and all? Was it your idea? Oh, that reminds me. Because I don't want to be doing too much foreplay today because it's going to take us 3,000 years to get through the video. Because it's so long and, you know, Friday streams are a bit shorter, unfortunately. However, before I forget, and thank you, Mythos, for bringing it up, tomorrow, I'll have Under the Bridge with V, and then the collab with Temp to continue on Resident Evil 5. However, in between those times, at 4 p.m., Arch and we're gonna have a session 0. Now Arch said he's not streaming it, which I think is a mistake. Personally, if you guys are part of the campaign server, which mods, if you could link the campaign server in the chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. You know what, I could also throw it in too. But maybe like later on. As well, you should yell at him to stream session 0. Um Oh, thanks, Blue. I appreciate it. um Yeah, if he isn't gonna get free content. Yeah, he thinks that people don't like session 0s for some reason. So I don't know. Probably later tonight I'll talk to Lumi. We can like dogpile him to actually stream it. And maybe change his mind. Because I think he should personally. But we're doing session 0 tomorrow for the campaign. For those who don't know, Arch Warhammer, Archcast, whatever you want to call him, is running a Vampire the Masquerade, which is a role-playing game where we are vampires. But we're Nazis. The year start is 1941, and we are on the German side of things. So we are Nazi vampires. There. And so I'll be playing as well as Lum Lum, Atari, and Porkers. So it will be... Yeah, there's 4 of us. I was just like, wait, did I forget somebody? Don't tell me I forgot somebody. No. So yeah. And I'm very excited. And then we should have our first official session on Sunday. Is when it should be. As long as... It depends if, obviously, he decides if we're streaming session 0 tomorrow. Once again, I think we should. But Arch is gay. Because he is also a Jew himself. But what can I say? I have no control. I am simply just a character in his mind and his creation here. In fact, actually, let me pull up my design sheet and everything like that, because I'm really happy with my girl. I'm very excited to play her. Let me see. There we go. I am a Malkavian. Fake cat girl. Well, don't tell my character that. So there's different classes in Vampire, because it is a role-playing game, and I'm the crazy one. I'm the insane one, if we want to boil it down to the bare minimum. Where she's got some mental issues, to say the least, and she firmly believes that she's a cat girl. She's not actually a real cat girl. Mainly because Arch wouldn't let me be an actual real cat girl. Which is unfortunate. So I went this route instead. Where she firmly believes she's a real life cat girl. But she's not actually. Hence why the tail's a little bit flaccid and she's got to carry it. But we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. She's got little claws too. She's great. She's great. And I got some nice art of her too. Look at that nice belly. Yeah, you're gonna look him. And she's a little bit crazy. She's a little bit crazy. That's all. Insane one. Aren't there other girls playing as well? That is true. I mean, we are Nazi vampires. So we all are a little bit crazy in our own ways, but you know, I'm quite literally the crazy class, where I get like visions and I hear things. Like, I'm schizophrenic. I'm legitimately schizophrenic. I'm not even kidding. That's literally my class. So Arch has already told me that he will be talking to me privately. And telling me about certain things behind the scenes, and it's gonna be up to me if I'm gonna believe it's real or not. And that will be my, but my hallucinations and things like that. Thank you, Alex and Rob, for the $5 reviews. Thank you. Well, let me in the Discord. Well, there's a link earlier in chat, so try to scroll up to find it for the campaign Discord, because Lum did put a lot of fucking effort and work into the campaign server, so that this server is the way you can get updates for when we're doing the streams. You can talk about it, art, memes, the whole shebang, there, and obviously talk to us and all that fun stuff. and Arch is having polls that where you guys, the viewers, can actually input your votes for whatever he's doing at that time. Right now there's a vote for who will be our like our NPC companion here. Let me see. The party's first ally. Our heroes will encounter many friends and foes alike in their journey. Now you get to pick the first one. We have Hans Mueller, assigned by the Kleitzman to, I'm gonna butcher this, Unger. He's earnest, wide-eyed, and ideologically naive, recruited from a working-class family. He sees the war as a grand adventure. As a radio operator, he's equipped with an Enigma-modified Torn EB backpack radio, allowing secure comms in the field. Or, we can get Victor Stahl, assigned by the Kleitzman to Unger. I don't know how to pronounce this. He's a veteran from Poland and France and highly valued tank ace, having been given the assignment to field test an early version of the new Panzer 4th F2. He's starting to question the reason for this war, but provide powerful support to the party. And so you guys, the viewers, if you join the Discord server, you guys can vote for who you think should be our first ally. Personally, don't let this influence you guys. Actually, should I say my opinion? Because then you might vote the opposite way. And I don't want you guys to vote the opposite way, because I have my own opinion for who it should be. So anyway, I'll let you guys decide on that. And the other great and horrible thing about this is that Arch is autistic. Like, he is like hyper autistic, and so this campaign will be historically accurate. For those who don't know, he had an original campaign of Nazi vampires back in 2019 with Sargon, Rags, V, and Dev. Kibbs, V dropped out. Kibbs eventually joined. Oh, Uzulu was also there, as well. This is 2019, so as you can clearly tell, the friend group is a little bit different these days. But this is not my place to talk about that stuff. I was just a simple viewer back in those days myself. And that apparently is 100% canon. That original campaign that he did with him. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to evolve into with us now, the new group. The replacements. Thank you, Clarky, for the $5 dose. Thank you. You think she's a cat girl, but she's not actually a cat girl. Amal. Okay, so she's a femboy. Kill yourself. We already have a femboy. Atari is literally a femboy, okay? Because the problem is, all us girls, as typical women do, put our points in the social skills. Because we're women, and that's just how we play, apparently. And so Arch was like, oh my god, you guys need a physical person, because we're all some sort of like social magic-esque players, so we're squishy fishies here. And so he made Atari be the physical character, and then he when it came to Lum-Lums and I's design, we were the ones that designed it. So I personally, because I do like to scribble from time to time and doodle different things. I sent my idea to Alucard to draw this, and then he made various designs based off my ideas, and I picked the one I preferred. I know with the case of Lum-Lum, he made various designs for her as well. But Arch commissioned for Porker's and Atari's characters, and of course, for some fucking reason. So granted, I'm not sure how much input they had. Maybe I could be completely misunderstanding here. So I guess take my stuff with a grain of salt. But Atari supposed to be the physical character because all us fucking women are social/magic users, right? Flimsy little damsels in distress. Well, I guess we're vampire Nazis, so not completely damsels. And guess what? He made Atari into another femboy. Like, Atari's already a femboy in real life and with his VTuber model. And he made Atari into a femboy also within the game as well. I can't fucking escape them. Every single fucking right-wing Discord server is filled with Nazi femboys. Literally in this case. Literally. Why does it have to be like this, chat? Why does that have to be like that? I can't fucking escape. Oh. Thank you, Muro, for the $10 reduce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Poor Han stuck with a predatory older vampire ladies, you and Lumi. If this doesn't turn into a harem comedy, I will riot. Looks like Tanya Durkajaf as a cat girl. See, everyone... Okay. Listen, when Dev played a lolly in the first vampire campaign, it made sense for him to be considered as Tanya because he was literally a blonde lolly. And he was a little bit sadistic and stuff like that. In my case, I'm just blonde. Okay? Like, I'm not so... Like, again, I'm also Nazi as well. But, you know, they're German. Like, she is pure Aryan blood. Of course she's fucking blonde and blue eyes. Like, and she's also just happens to be a Nazi. This is fine. She's got really long hair. It's wild hair, you know? And she's not a lolly. I mean, she's like 5... I think I made her my height, like 5'1" or something like that. If I remember correctly. But she's not a lolly. The Austrian painter would have been a femboy in this time period. Changed my mind. I hope not. I hope not. Tanya grown up. I can't see Tanya as a cat girl though, because technically Tanya was originally a man. This is an isekai. And like, I didn't get fucking cat girl vibes off Tanya. I feel like if you put a cat tail and ears on Tanya, she would probably want to murder you. Not probably. I think she definitely would murder you. You look very tall for some reason in this art. Well, I didn't tell Alucard the size. And because I didn't have all the details just yet. Also, the fact that it's a reference sheet. So you need them to be big so you can see all the little details. So you're just playing as yourself. Shh. Don't say that, okay? Listen. I have only played one RP before. And that was an absolute fucking disaster. I made the DM want to kill himself. Literally made the DM fucking crash out, had a whole mental breakdown on the floor in his parents' basement, okay? This was many years ago now, many years ago. We don't talk about it. And so, yeah. So, I listen. If I'm gonna roleplay myself and all my murderous fantasies, my first roleplay, then I will. Okay? I can't be a Nazi vampire in real life and murder communists as much as I want to. And so therefore, I will use my character to do so instead. I will ask once more. Please don't delete my comment for spam bombs. Why do you look pregnant? Are you talking about the reference sheet? I think it's just the pose that she's in because she's like sticking out her, like she's bending. She's like, okay, I'm trying to replicate it in real life. I know you guys can't see that. But like it's like bending forward and leaning back at the same. Not bending forward. She's like standing. How do I describe this actually? She's bending backwards and having the hands up in the air. Like a little kitty pose, right? Like a cat girl, except more insane. And so the stomach sticks out a bit. Also, in this reference sheet, she's got a stomach piercing, which, not gonna lie, I didn't realize that until somebody else pointed it out. So we'll go with this PF because Alucard drew both of these. Here. We're gonna go with the PFP without the stomach piercing. Because that's a bit much in my opinion. So that's not, yeah. When does that campaign finally start? I was talking about months ago. Tomorrow actually. Having session 0, and he's gay, and so he's not actually streaming session 0. So the first actual real session for you guys will be on Sunday. I don't know what time Sunday. I'm assuming also 4 PM because it's usually when he does that stuff. Is that attachment point for a crane to battle Tar to handle her? Sure. Sure, we can say that if you want. Poor Hans. Yeah, well, apparently I found this out yesterday. Somebody in the chat said that I'm one of the two players, two classes that can actually have sex because vampires can't have sex. There's like they have just no libido, no nothing. But two of the classes can actually have it, and that's Toreador and Malkavian, and I'm a Malkavian. And I was like, oh, because I made a joke about us raping Hans. The new guy. And I was like, oh, wait, hold on. um, thank you, Guardian of the Rune, for the subby bug for 8 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm all choosing to be Malkalvian. I'm not surprised. Yeah, well. That was there's a couple classes that appeal to me. Obviously Malkavian. But then there's a couple other ones. I forget all of them. Because it's been a minute since I actually read the rule book. I probably need to do a refresher, just in general, before tomorrow. Just because like I created this character a few months ago now. Well, also the waiting has been on Arch to kind of figure out his what he wants to do for the campaign himself. Let me see. The La Sombras sounded cool. Actually, no. Well, Giovanni sounded really cool. La Sombra sounded cool, though Lum Lum was the first one to make her character. She chose La Sombra first. And then the Ventru sounded good as well. So I was debating myself with Malkavian, Giovanni, and Ventru. And I settled on the Malkavian because I wanted to do the cat girl angle. I know Arch was trying to get me to be a gang girl to do the cat girl. Because I could have, like, you know, animalistic traits and actually grow a real tail and ear if I really wanted to. But the description for the gang girls just had them as, like, basically blacks. Now, I know it's roleplay and it's Nazi Germany, so, like, it's obviously they can stretch that kind of stuff. But the descriptions for the gang girls were just, they're too brutish. And I don't know, I like manipulation characters a lot, which is what I was going for with my girl in general. So yeah, she's a highly manipulative character. Yes, I'm playing myself essentially. Yeah, suck my cock. I don't fucking care. Okay, maybe once I roleplay a little bit more, because like I'm not gonna be like V. Okay, V plays the same character every single time. Okay, if we do a different RP ever again, right? This hopefully isn't like burned to the ground or anything like that. Then I'll probably play something different. But for my first RP, I want to be my true self, a fucking cunt. Uh, uh, he could have been a descended Viking warlord that has been civilized by Prussian order. I mean, maybe if I was creative, but I got it stuck in my head to be a cat girl, and I wanted to do that. So, also, this allows me to carry the spirit of V since V is not playing this time. And somebody has to be the cult leader. Somebody has to be the dominator, right? So somebody has to, be the wild card of the group. And, well, you know what? A little bit of craziness never hurt anyone. Um, um, thank you, Clarky, for the $5 reduce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I was Arch, I would cancel the whole thing, wait out World War III, and replace all the degenerate VTuber coots that you all with a beautiful, loyal, overall less disappointing F-14s. Nazi vampire F-14s. The sad thing is, I could actually see him doing that, because he was jerking out the F-14s on the Archcast 2 weeks ago now? A week ago. Was it last week? Last week, yeah. Something along those lines. Thomas Manax, thank you for the $2 videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait, for us I don't know how to pronounce this clan. Zemus, I don't know how to pronounce them. To make your character roll cat ears with fleshcraft. Atari keeps on threatening me with that, but I don't want that to happen. At least not early on. Because I want to develop her more as a character first. Before that actually happens. But he keeps on doing it as a threat. And I'm like, no, the whole point is the fact that she's not actually a real cat girl. Like, she pretends, well, I don't say pretends, she firmly believes she's a real cat girl, and her whole motivation is to work with the Germans to actually try to make cat girls a real thing. She's heard on the streets because she's a semi-orphan to a certain extent. She's heard about different people being snatched up for crazy experiments within them. And she wants to actually try to work with the Nazis and make cat girls into a real thing. Yes, does it make any sense? No, but that's kind of the point. See, Misky? Maybe? Maybe. I just can't listen to Arch because of the constant interruptions of super chats. Understandable. They are kind of loud. Maybe I can ask him to, like, turn them down a little bit. But we'll see. Wait, the Germans want to make cat girls for the motherland! Well, I'm pretty sure they're doing other things with the people they're snatching up from the streets for their horrible experiments. But my girl's not taking it that way. She wants to convince the SS and Hitler himself to make cat girls. And how it basically it's like the ultimate Ubermensch, right? Right? Because like, they have cat-like reflexes. They're extra cute. You know, self-cleaning. You know, better eyesight. You know, naturally can see in the dark. You know, various things like that. She realizes the power of achieving cultural victory. We just want the cat girls. Thank you. Elon Musk will pick this character. Oh fuck! I don't need to get Elon Musk's attention again. I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I can't complain, right? It's he had a nice boost to my Twitter account, but getting locked for a day fucking sucked. That was a pain in the fucking ass to get a lock for a day with all the problems I was having. So I'm content not having Elon's eye on me more. And Arch is already talking about how I'm gonna be impregnated by him, and that's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not gonna be his like 10th baby mama. Even if I am attracting him with cat girls, apparently, within Nazi Germany. No, I mean the interruptions of topics. I guess I don't mind it here because I don't take your opinions as seriously. No offense. That's fine. I'm a woman. You shouldn't take my opinion that seriously. And I mean, super chats are, you know, people are being generous and nice, and obviously I want to read them anyways. But anyway, speaking of topics and different things like that, we have an hour and 15-minute video to watch today. But before I even get to that though, actually I should have deleted that. Before we actually get into the video itself, but we gotta talk about the actual drama around it first. Because, if you cannot tell based off the thumbnail, it's a little bit spicy here. Just ever so spicy. So Tyler Oliveira and Nick Shirley are both two people who like to go around and film, you know, different parts of the world and what happened. Nick Shirley's been focusing a lot more on Somalian fraud and fraud in general with everything. Tyler Oliveira usually goes around the world in general and shows different cultures. He had the infamous Indian video that was a few months ago. That was absolutely crazy. And now he's stopping by our greatest allies and wanted to say hi to them. And it's caused him a little bit of a problem because his Patreon got nuked after this video. Like, he can, you know, talk about Indians and other cultures throughout the world. Just in general. He's done lots of, like, tourist scams within Europe. That kind of stuff. In general. We got Canada's Indian invasion here. Gamers in Tokyo. Pickpockets in Venice. Minneapolis Somali invasion as well. You know, the different things like that. But then he talks about our greatest ally, and Patreon goes bye bye, bye bye. Thankfully, he's doing pretty well for himself, and so he actually made his own website. Um, so he, since he's replacing his Patreon, a lot of people are surprised that his Patreon got nuked. I'm not, because Patreon was deplatforming people way back in like 2018. This is where my Sargon fangirl comes out here. But there was a whole wave of people losing their Patreon around like 2018, roughly, back during Trump's first presidency, when culture war was still raging on, because it's still living to this day. It's been very long. It's been a very long time, and I'm very old. I feel like an old lady. I need to get my fucking cane out here. And so that's why I personally don't use Patreon, because if Sargon could be deplatformed, and there's like a bunch of other people too, I just don't remember who it all was at this time, then like they're clearly not to be trusted. And so his Patreon getting nuked, not that surprised. Is it still horrible? Yes. I'm not that surprised. So he made his own website now, and I must say, it's kind of funny. Good. Seeing that the first tier is good guy, it's free, and you get a free surprise from Tyler if you join. I've not joined it myself, but I'm kind of tempted to, just out of curiosity. And then there's like the $5 tier, Patreon of Truth, Mega Patreon, Giga Patreon. You can get like early access to videos, DLC, different things like that. To help like support him here. But the fact that the free tier is good guy, I just have to appreciate the beauty for that. And you get, all his early access videos, and they're all basically the benefits that Patreon had. And good for him. I mean, not good that his Patreon got nuked, but I'm glad he's got the means and ability to actually be able to create his own website now. So he can support himself, because like Shirley, he is someone who actually puts in the effort, literally goes in person to find these different communities and the problems that they cause for Americans, or just to show the differences between them and how it's incompatible with them. Obviously, he doesn't frame it that way because he has to keep it relatively normie safe. But, and I can't stress this enough, a lot of people just sit in home and they're streaming. Like me, for example, right? I'm literally in my dad's fucking basement, standing here and talking into the void. And there is some utility to this, having more voices talk about the different issues at hand, talking with other people, learning and discussing what's happening, and pushing different narratives, and keep on moving forward, different support systems. Like there is a benefit there. However, the real work, in my opinion, the real admirable and ones that deserve lots of praise and appreciation are people like Tyler Oliveira and Nick Shirley, who actually go in person and record this stuff and show the evidence, so people like me can leech off the content and spread it around. Obviously, his video has decent amount of views, but the more people see this, the more exposure it gets, so more people are aware of what's happening. But without him doing this work, then we wouldn't have this stuff. I mean, somebody else would probably do it, hopefully, but that's far and few between. That's far and few between here. He's literally putting his life at risk, and now he's talking about the chosen people here. Besides his Patreon, his life might literally be at risk in some way, shape, or form. He might mysteriously become suicidal, because there's now, besides his Patreon being taken down, he's being attacked online by big names. Out Pouch reached out asking if they should sponsor Tyler for this. And Out Pouch is a brand, a nicotine patch brand made by Tucker Carlson. And oops, I had these little out of done. And Laura Loomer comes in, and Laura Loomer is a quote-unquote investigative journalist. Frankly, I don't actually really know what she's actually investigated before, but she mostly just posts tweets, and she actually does have some pretty useful information from time to time. For different things. She's a good source for like MAGA, Republican, Trump, other various different topics like around those lines. but she's Jewish herself. And she's trying to have a cancel campaign against Tyler. Al Pelch is Tucker Carlson Nicotine Company. Tyler Oliveira just published a video of himself walking around a Jewish community in New Jersey harassing Jews. He appears to have been banned from Patreon. So what does Tucker do? He just asks chat, should we sponsor Tyler? Tucker swears he doesn't hate Jews though. He claims only about criticizing Israel. So why then is Tucker trying to sponsor a guy who made a video on himself titled, I expose New Jersey's Jewish invasion? Are Jews not allowed to peacefully live in New Jersey anymore? No. It's time to admit Tucker Carlson is a virulent Jew hater who has mainstreamed a generation of Jew-obsessed podcasters and content creators. Now he wants to fund them too. How come US FDA is working with Outpatch? Seems like that relationship needs to be reevaluated. Oh, I bet none of you knew about the FDA special relationship with Tucker Carlson and his nicotine company, did you? And she's adding US FDA, the official account of it, twice already, and also RFK too. Trying to basically cancel Outpouch and Tucker and to stop them from sponsoring Tyler. Didn't exactly really work because they decided to sponsor him anyways with the code Larry Loomer instead, because there are some allegations that Laura Loomer's actually trans. With how much plastic surgery that she's gotten, I wouldn't be surprised. And a lot of people have been using it, and very proudly so. And Outpatch is appreciating the extra publicity, which then pissed off Laura Loomer. I pissed off with the little wannabe neo-Nazi. Tyler, weren't you just in India attacking Indians by calling them shit-slingers? So you hate Jews and you hate Indians? Did you know Tucker Carlson Outpatch is made in India? Are you really gonna let them sponsor you? You're such a fraud. But now she's attacking Tyler for being sponsored by Outpatch because of the Indian connections, and also Outpatch for sponsoring Tyler because they're made in India and he criticized Indians. Like, she's been completely malicious about this. Like, she's a pretty big name. She's got White House connections. When the whole, like, Epstein files were supposed to be released and they had the whole photo op, she was one of the influencers that had one of the actual physical files at hand. Like, she's has connections within the White House here. And she's making up this big fucking stink with multiple million views on her tweets. Now, they're really retarded, and I really hope the Trump administration doesn't actually do anything about this. Or FDA, or whatever that she's trying to do with RFK here. But I don't think this will really work. I know Pam Bondi really hates anti-Semitism and likes to go after that. But this is just such a nothing burger. This is so fucking stupid what she's trying to do. But the fact that someone as big as her with many connections that she actually has is trying to cancel Tucker, not Tucker, well, also I guess Tucker in the process, but Tyler, for making a video about welfare fraud. But this time it's just about the Jewish community here, though. It is, like, what are you doing here? Because the package is up to be normie safe. A fraud is fraud. Fraud is bad. Like, it's universal no matter who's abusing the system. The difference is between white Americans doing it and foreigners doing it is that, well, white Americans doing it is bad and they should be locked up and taken care for it. They're at least actual citizens. These foreigners have their own countries. Jews have Israel. Indians have India. Somalians have Somalia. All these different foreign groups come here and leech off our system. And so what they're doing is just exposing the fraud within these ethnic enclaves. So that's exactly what's happening here. And then and showing this to the whole entire world so people are aware of what's happening. And hopefully put up a pressure on the government. We'll see how effective that actually is. I mean, it was pretty decent, all things considered, when it came to Somalian fraud in Minnesota. All things considered. Nothing will happen to the chosen people, but still, it is a hot topic at hand, and it will definitely push more people in this direction to, make some changes. Hopefully later on, that's the ideal, right? That's the ideal, is to expose these different welfare frauds, these ethnic enclaves that are coming here, abusing our system, and treating us like trash. And that's exactly what Tyler Oliver is doing. Fraud is bad. Like, it's that simple. Once again, it's the normie safe thing. the way the handle is. Um, and yet she wants to make this huge thing. Oh, it's just attacking the Jews. It's just attacking all the poor Jews. Oh no! Like, it's really stupid and upsetting. And I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. At this point, it's kind of a couple days old. Outpatch hasn't dropped him. He's doing just fine. However, multiple other, tiny hats are rallying around, going after Nick Shirley as well. Because Nick, like the Lord Loomer here, showing the screenshot of Nick Shirley saying "expose it all" and replying to Tyler Oliveira's video. Expose what? Jewish US citizens living their life peacefully? Yes, because they shouldn't be here. They have Israel now. Go back to Israel. And they're abusing welfare. Goodbye. Well, this is such a long tweet. Let's listen to this beautiful work of art. You stabbed us in the back, bro. Yeah, you, Nick Shirley. You betrayed all Jewish American patriots who watched your video, who shared your video, who were proud of the work you did. We supported your fight to clean up the corruption. Jewish Americans pay taxes. I'm pressing X out on that. And we're proud to contribute to this country. And we've contributed since its inception. Google Haim Solomon. Solomon. Maybe that's a long ago. The American Revolution. But if you want to witness Jewish Americans giving back to the USA, look no further than what took place this week. Michael and Susan Dell just gave 6.25 billion to 25 million American kids. The largest single private commitment made to US children. He is proudly Jewish. He's a member of our tribe. Remember, chat. Remember. Everyone is tribal except for white people. Every single ethnicity will protect their own and attack the outgroups. Every single one of them are, except for white people. We're the only ones holding the water for and sacrificing ourselves by trying to hold hands with them and sing kumbaya. But remember, these people see themselves as all one people, one group, one tribe. I need to get like little like sing-song ringtone for this just to be extra like condescending for this because it's so annoying. He's a member of our tribe. So maybe you can explain which part of Tyler Oliveira's work are you supportive of? We all watched Tyler's video. There didn't seem to be any fraud taking place. To me, it looked like a lot of hardworking Americans. Most of them all worked all sorts of jobs. Some worked at more than one. Some who were young students who were supported by their wives who worked. Is that illegal? Yes, they have Israel. And yeah, some had large families and were receiving food assistance benefits, but that was legal. Remember, chat, as long as you're being replaced legally, it's fine. As long as it's legal, the fraud is legal, it's fine. Literally, the Somalian stuff is also technically legal too. Not exactly when it comes to the daycare specifically, but a lot of them have a shit ton of kids. It's like single mothers having 5 different kids or 5 different baby daddies to get the single mother payment welfare checks. The same process here. It's what they're basically doing. Come on. As soon as legal doesn't mean it's right. Maybe we should, have a reform on these laws so that it's not legal anymore because they're clearly bad actors. Bad actors breaking it. And it's just as legal for Hasidic Jews to receive food benefits as it is for any other American who qualifies to receive benefits. There are lots of stereotypes that all Jews are rich, but that's simply not true. Many are struggling. Many require government assistance, but the assistance they receive is legal. What you exposed in Minnesota was amazing, but what Tyler Oliveira attempted to do was to smear the Jewish community with some type of crime. But if you watch his video in full, you'll see there's no crime being committed. It's all legal. Your text is only 3 words, but it's deeply hurtful, and appears to be racist. How is exposed at all of racist? He's just going after fraud in general. That's not racist. That's very normie safe. There's nothing, and those 3 words, no matter how hurtful in my feelings that they are, it's not racist to want to expose fraud. It just so happens that it's usually the nuns that are doing the fraud instead. But I know, we can leave that part out to be normally safe. So maybe you can explain yourself. Or maybe you can address the Jewish American community. And more than 3 words. We are listening. And then he adds Laura Loomer and this Shabo's K person. For PragerU. Trying to signal boost this. So chat. Once I get through the super chats, because you guys have been very generous today, we should watch this video for ourselves to be like, is Tyler Oliveira just being mean and racist and attacking these poor innocent Jews that are doing nothing wrong even though they have Israel to go to? We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, Select and Doppelganger, for the 500 warp tokens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have to blow a steam. Me, the Jays have to go. V, they think the same of you and have a military. Ha ha ha. I give you the same. Oh no, I'm not saying that, man. I'm not saying that. Thank you, Select and Doppelganger, for the 500 warp tokens. If the people have been driven out of every place they went, there's a reason. Yeah, well. If everyone is the problem, maybe you should look in the mirror and realize if it's you the problem after all. I think it's less than Doc and Neighbor for another 500 warp tokens. Thank you. When you need someone like Elon to create a white advocacy group, Maul, fucking seduce him. I am not seducing Elon Musk. I just remembered once again that my dad and his girlfriend, or fiance I should call her, are upstairs, and I just screamed, I will not seduce Elon Musk. Anyways, I'm not seducing Elon Musk! I agree he should. He keeps talking about it. He needs to be the right-wing George Soros. It's really annoying that all he does is talk and he doesn't actually do anything, because he really should. Because he literally could be funding all this stuff. Like, I know he's busy with SpaceX, Tesla, and Starlink and whatever, Zitter and everything else he's got in between, but like, come on, man, if you have this much time to tweet out about this stuff, surely you have much time. So some little like 5 minutes here to be like, how do we do this? You won't or you can't, both. Not seducing Elon Musk, but he's never less seduced. I'm not. What more do you need him to do? Not be an Inwa, okay? If Elon Musk was actually a good father and didn't use IVF and was actually there for his child life, then you know what? Sure, I'd be happy to seduce him. I mean, richest man in the world, a huge fucking autist. What is there more to ask for? That's literally like a huge autist is my type. The rich is just a bonus. Like, well, actually, that's not actually a bonus. That's literally like, I can't fathom how much money that actually is. My pea brain can't do that. But he's not there. He's already had like 7 kids with 7 different mothers. He has the whole job with Ashley St. Clair, and he uses IVF, and I don't support IVF. Like, the sex is there for a reason. Like, come on here. So, even no matter how much money he throws in my face, my pea brain can't comprehend it anyways. Once we get past 5 zeros, I don't know what that means. So therefore, it doesn't bother. Like, it doesn't have an effect on me. I'm like, oh, that's a number. Okay, well, bye. Hi, nice to talk to you. Bye. Elon is too young for her. There's also that. The 13 baby mamas he's not married to is pretty non-Western coded. Yeah, well, he's African, so what do you expect? Oh yeah, he's also got that trans kid too. Like, why do I want to step into that fucking mess with all those women and the trans kid and Ashley St. Clair and IVF when I'm still young, okay? I'm still in my 20s, okay? I'm still fertile, I swear. At least I fucking hope so. I'm kind of scared, but still. No, we're not doing that. Oh, now we have principles. Yes. Just like men don't want to be baby daddies Or not baby daddy. So the men don't want to be stepfathers for women that have kids with their man. I'm not gonna be raising another man's children. I'm not gonna be dealing with a harem mentality of horror, like a bunch of women cat fighting with each other over who actually gets the man. No, thank you. Here. Ugh. Goddamn. Anyway, back to the super chats. I'm not fucking seducing Elon, you goddamn NWAS. I'm gonna be slurring at this rate. Thank you, Salt the Second, for becoming for repeating your Yakube's strongest soldier tier. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you don't want to give YouTube your money, because they're also pretty tiny hats, you can become a member on Ko-Fi and get all the perks by joining the Discord server instead, which would be hella cool. And thank you, Clarky, for the $2 videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hasidics are the least chosen of the chosen people, by the way. Tyler slapped on the yarmulke off the head of the least favorite in-law in the family and still irked them enough to try to cancel him. The goy are in abundance and completely out of control. Oy vey! Oy vey! And thank you, Meryl, for the $5 dues on Rumble. Hitler tried to breed extinct species back to life, so cat girls shouldn't be that hard to convince him. He's also a vegan and environmentalist. He would have been a femboy. So I don't want to think of him as a femboy, okay? That's a bit much. That's a bit much. Anyways, now that we're caught up here, and I'm not seducing Elon Musk, no matter what Art says, okay? Watch the Jews. After all, the goy are in abundance. You know what? Let me sit down for this. I like to sit down to watch a video. I've been standing this whole time. Let me get my popcorn out. Sit back and relax. And laugh at how tragic everything all is because we're being robbed in broad daylight.
You're not welcome here, and you're not welcome in a lot of other places based on your videos.
You don't own this place?
I'm sorry, he's using the music. I know we're literally 4 seconds in, but he's using the music. I know I should be like, wow, the fact that they won't actually allow us here is actually, you know, really, really bad and shows how racist they are and white people aren't racist. But the music. Now I'm gonna play Kirby's Air Ride.
Don't own America.
No, you should move on. Nobody wants you here. Please move out.
Discovered that anti-Semitism is lucrative, huh?
So Pat obviously thought that we should pay for their money, so why don't you move to a different country? So
Why don't you go back to Israel? That would be my question.
Safety, yeah. I'd say 150 calls about you already.
What are they calling about?
People try to live a quiet life.
You two gentlemen, I saw a video of you walking into 136 Hillside. They asked not
Fair
to
enough.
come back.
Amazing.
If you come back, it'll be a trespassing
So
charge.
you say anti-Semitism, I say anti-Goyism.
The Jewish community is extremely racist.
You have a group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist.
Elon Musk has 12 kids. Why can't I have 12 kids?
He pays for them. You're arguing that I should pay for your kids.
I'm arguing that the government.
Speaking of seducing Elon Musk, I guess he's got 12 fucking kids. I knew it was a lot. I'm not giving him a 13th, okay? I am not giving him a 13th. And I'm not wanting to pay for some sort of tiny hat. Oh my god, he actually literally is wearing a tiny hat. For his 12 kids, because at least, like you said, Elon pays for them. He's not present in their life, but at least he pays the child support.
That's our money. I pay taxes.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Should I call the cops on you?
We may be in a...
The nasally voice. Excuse me, sir. The cops on you? Oh, if it wasn't for the fact that I would like Winters to turn this into a video, I would totally wear the, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Winters, cut this out so we can actually make sure it's turn into a video. Actually, how dare you be anti-Semitic? Oi, how dare you notice that we're actually leeching off your taxes like every other ethnic enclave in the entirety of the United States?
Rough hellhole. So what am I being pulled over for?
We got a call. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do so.
This is Lakewood, New Jersey, home to one of the largest and fastest growing Orthodox Jewish communities in America, having anywhere from 6 to 10 kids per family, causing the community's rapid growth to spill into the neighboring towns of Jackson, Toms River, Brick, and Howell, causing non-Jewish residents to fear that their town will soon be turned into Little Jerusalem, just like Lakewood.
The tactics within this community, I would liken it to organized crime.
You were the vice chairman of the Israel Advisory Committee for Donald Trump in 2016. How did you get a relationship with the White House? Who in the White House?
I don't want to say.
Who are we messing with here right now, Chris? Is this video a mistake, man?
I'm going to be honest. The powers out here are pretty immense.
It's not about Jackson. Jackson is a test case. If it isn't squashed soon, is going to take over the entire country.
It's already a problem in all the surrounding towns. You have billionaires from Lakewood being involved, people connected to the President of the United States.
In New Jersey, is there room for a two-state solution?
How is this video YouTube safe? Like, obviously he got his Patreon nuked. But like, this is reaching the levels of noticing that because all these clips are like thrown together as the hook for the video. So who knows what the context actually is as we get into the video, and I know I'm pausing like every 5 seconds. Bear with me here. But I'm still, the first like 5 minutes of a video are very sensitive to YouTube's algorithms. Obviously, he's got almost 9 million subs. He's probably has a good editor. They know what they're doing, but I'm just like, this is reaching levels of noticing that like I would feel very dangerous of hitting to have in a basic bitch video.
No, there's clearly not. I think it's going to be a fight.
I ride around Lakewood. There are near Lakewood, outside of Lakewood, and all these towns around Lakewood, there are housing developments. Well, Goyim live there. There are no Yidden there yet, but all these housing developments, someone who they could turn it around. We saw what happened in Lakewood itself. There are a lot of other opportunities if people want to take that jump and become a shtickle pioneer.
As the Orthodox Jewish community consolidated political power in Lakewood, taking majority control of the Township Committee, Planning Board,
Sorry, I saw Fuentes.
Political power in Lakewood, taking
I find it a little. Fuentes is a Mexican last name, and obviously, we know. We know when we say Fuentes, who the first person that pops in our mind. Just a little bit ironic that one of the Jewish women there is also named Fuentes. Just a little funny thing.
Majority control of the Township Committee, Planning Board, Zoning Board, and School Board, financially depleting the public school system for non-Jewish kids, overwhelming local infrastructure, and turning a once quiet town into a densely populated, over-trafficked Jewish enclave prioritizing Jews over non-Jews. Before I investigate the Jewish takeover of Lakewood and of the nearby town of Jackson, I first want to visit the town where the blueprint was born, Muncie, New York.
Someone like David Badner saw the opportunity a few years ago. He bought 50 to 100 houses in Muncie. I believe that he single-handedly, in a certain way, turned around Muncie. These are opportunities that come up every once in a while, and someone has to step up to the plate.
Miller News, thanks for meeting up on such short notice, man.
My Muncelandian
Local Goy reporter, oh my god.
No, we here. We outside. Yeah.
When did you notice Muncie begin to form as a Hasidic Jewish enclave?
I would say 20 years ago, I saw the first start of it, and then every year, it just started to grow exponentially.
Hey! It's me. How are you? Stop what?
They on Tyler. Yo, they on Tyler.
But the Jews here were not happy to see me after I asked how they afford 7 to 10 kids on a single income and if they were on welfare in Curious Joel. How many kids do most people have out here?
17, 18.
How do they afford 17, 18 kids?
They are proud to do what the Torah says, that you need to be multiple and fruitful.
How do you afford to study the Torah, though?
God help me.
Does the American taxpayer help you, too?
Also, yes.
How do people...
Also, yes. God helps us. How does God help you? The government pays us. Oh, how does the government pay you? Your fucking going tax-paying dollars are paying for it. That's how God helps. Oh, okay.
Afford to have such big families out here.
It's. I'm not saying anything.
Are you Tyler?
I'm Tyler.
Are you trying to do another anti-Semitism video?
How did I spread anti-Semitism? That's crazy you said that. Life circumstance, different culture. So this is their way of, like, listen, I know you're frustrated about.
So I'm okay. Sorry, this. If it wasn't for the tiny hat, I'm not really good at noticing. Okay, like I'm a fake noticer, right? Just like everything else, I'm a fake. But it wasn't for the tiny hat, and I guess the schnoz, because the schnoz is kind of there. But the amount of tattoos he has, he just kind of looks like the average white man in like Walmart. I would probably say. Is it illegal for him to have that many tattoos and all that fun stuff there? He definitely seems a bit like an outlier in my book, personally. They're blending in.
Frustrated about what some of the things we focused on. Is that kind of what I'm getting at? Sure. So give me some examples of how things were misconstrued. Yeah, what did I get that was wrong?
So it's not necessarily misconstrued. Well, it is misconstrued. There's a lot of it that's you'll cut a lot of it. Cut out different words, make it sound a lot worse than it is. There's a lot of people here that are on welfare. A lot of people are in Section 8. A lot of people that are on a bunch of different WIC, food stamps, stuff like that.
Sure.
If you go to any low-income communities, you're going to see that. They're all going to be on the different welfares.
Okay, so they were on welfare.
But the difference is the Jews of Israel. They can go back to Israel and they can live on Israel's welfare because you guys are foreigners. You're not actual Americans. You can go back to Israel. Like, if white Americans are on welfare, personally, I'm not exactly a fan of that myself, but it is supposed to be there for a good reason. If they're committing fraud, then they should be taken care of. But they're actual white Americans with nowhere else to go. You guys are Jews. You have Israel. Go back to Israel.
Yeah, no bit of denying that.
Okay.
But again, it's the way you say it, it's the way you twist it, the way you...
How did I twist it?
Not twist it, again,
How did
twist
I-
is the wrong
I'm
word.
just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Growing up in an extremely... Dude, no.
Ah, the insufferable hug. I see. You say I misrepresent, and then they do that. Like, come on.
I'm not saying they're all good people. It's like I said, wherever you go, there's going to be the idiots. There's always going to be the assholes wherever you go.
I totally get it.
You talk about the community. It feels like you're trying to create a narrative that you did not find.
Is he a gay Jew now? So we found a Jew with tattoos and seems mostly normal for the most part. And then we found a gay one.
You found people that are on welfare that have a lot of kids, but your headline did wrote welfare addicted Jews.
What is your frustration? I'm curious. Welfare dependent, welfare reliant, welfare addicted. What's the difference? Tell me. They need it to survive, and without it, they die. What is the difference?
It's addictive to bait click. That's an addiction.
That's an addiction?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you addicted to being a victim or what?
No.
The Goyim were grateful someone was finally bringing up their town's issues.
I show you. They take all my money, these people.
You think they take the money?
Okay, I don't want this guy here either. Good. There we go. Here we go. Frame to him. Like he's clearly foreign. But also go back to where he's from. You can tell by the simple accent. I understand his frustrations, but these Jews wouldn't be taking your money if you weren't here either.
Bienvenidos a Muncie-land con mi amigo.
There you go. Oh, God, I definitely needs to get the
How do you
forward.
like living here as a non-Jew?
So-so. Well, I don't
What do you
like
mean
the
by
area.
so-so?
Because they're acidics.
Do they treat you as one of them? Like,
No,
are you guys
no.
on the same page?
No. They don't bother me because I don't deal with them.
Okay. Do you think there is large-scale welfare fraud out here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a lot. They get away with everything. They get the Section 8, they get...
Hold on. I wanna read these. Whatever. Oh, come on. Let me read. 7 people, including a rabbi, arrested in 14 million Rockland County funding scam. Feds. The federal funds are meant to help underprivileged children, authorities say. Surprised the feds actually did anything about it, seeing that it's chosen people, after all. Mortgage welfare fraud bust in Brooklyn, Orange, and Rockland County Orthodox communities. So, Rockland County again. Okay, there seems to be a common denominator. Even more, Chilul Hashim, Munzi couple arrested and charged with welfare fraud. Okay, wow, what a shock.
Section 8, they get everything, the free housing and, you know.
Do you think most people work out here in the Hasidic community? No? How do they afford their bills?
I wish I knew. I would do the same thing, too.
And what are your thoughts on the driving out here? I gotta ask you that. It's the most important question.
I don't want to talk about it.
The driving is crazy.
Okay.
You got a stop sign over there, they don't even stop. They just pass, you know. That's why so much traffic and accidents, and it's crazy.
You saw the Curious Joel
Did they actually record that while they were there? Holy shit. Okay, that's... like, it looked like they were kind of jaywalking a little bit. But, like, come on, it's not that deep of his jaywalking. You're still supposed to stop if somebody's trying to cross the road, and he did say there's supposed to be a stop sign there. Also, that sign was in Hebrew. Oh my god.
video. Why was that video good?
That video was good because I've been in East Ramapo for as long as I remember. I also went to Spring Valley High School. I've been in the school system, and we've definitely seen a lot of things, especially since our school board was majority private school owners, mainly Jewish white men, and most of our school was not Jewish.
Jewish white men. I get she's a non herself, and a lot of nons mistake Jews to be white. It's why the left actually supports Palestine so much. It's because they see Palestinians as poor browns, and it's just white supremacy that's trying to knock them down with Israel bombing them. That's not the case at all. But they see this extension because their skin color makes them blend in like chameleons. In reality, they're completely different, and they make it very clear that they are different from us.
And they had control over our public school system over like the past 10 years, purposely voting no on our school budget vote so that way we would fail, and we lost about 3-2 schools.
Basically, through block voting, Orthodox Jews won enough seats to control the East Ramapo School Board and went on to eliminate hundreds of public school positions.
Literally named Rothschild, Solomon, and Price. Oh my god. You can't make... this is... We're I shouldn't be surprised, and I guess I'm not surprised at the same time, because we're talking about the tiny hats here, but they just make it so obvious. They just make it so obvious with a fucking Rothschild. In 2009, the board began gunning the public school system. The report states between 2009 and 2014, the board fired over 450 staff, including 160 teachers, 3 guidance counselors, and all social workers. It also cut budgets for athletic and extracurricular activities in half. Oh, they sound like nice people.
Like teachers and social workers, while approving millions of taxpayer dollars to be spent on them.
But as public schools suffered, funding for the private yeshivas went up. Between 2010 and 2014, funding for private school buses increased from $22 million to $27.3 million. The school board also increased funding for special education private schools by 33%, while laying off 15 special education teachers in public schools, according to the New York NYSE report. Is it really private then if the government's funding so much?
Their children's religious private schools, ultimately gutting the public school system for the estimated 9,000 black and brown public school students, while diverting that money to their private religious schools.
I mean, I'm not completely against it, 'cause I don't want the nuns here either. They should also be deported. But I also don't want the Jews here, because they're still nuns. I don't want any of them here. Like, we need a purge in New York City. It's like completely overrun. I think the statistics for like demographics in New York City is around like 33% roughly. 30, somewhere in that range for actual white Americans. The rest are just nuns, and they all need to go. All of them need to go.
Give us food that's rotten and it's cold and it hurts our stomach.
I ask you, do not take our music program away. I love playing an instrument. My brother would be
Crush.
And the budget cuts were so devastating that in one instance, an elementary school shut down, and the majority Jewish school board then voted to sell it to a Jewish yeshiva for pennies on the dollar. Basically, the poorest, most vulnerable kids in these communities had their schools gutted and looted, all by a majority Jewish school board whose kids didn't even attend public school.
We believe that some of the decisions that have been made by the board have not been in the best interest of the public school community.
You don't like it, find yourself another place to live.
How was your education?
Okay, Ben Shapiro. That's literally what Ben Shapiro said like a few months ago. Where like, if you can't afford it, just move. Right? If you can't get a job, just move. Like, it's not that easy. Not to mention, why do we have to move? Because our ancestors literally built this fucking country. Like, this house has been carried on from generations to generations. Like, you know, my grandparents have lived here for, you know, ages, and then my great-grandparents, etc. Like, why do we have to move? Because you're purposely choking us out and ruining the economy. That's absolute bullshit. And once again, I don't have much sympathy for the nuns because I still want them here either. But what they're doing to the communities in general are just absolutely evil, and they're so arrogant in the process too. It's insufferable.
My education, it was decent, but it definitely could have been better if we had the resources that we were allowed to have. But again, for the past 10, 15 years or so, people have been purposely voting no on our school budget vote, so that way we had no funding and money for our school. And, you know, that was done purposely.
And who was voting no?
Majority, the Jewish community. You, like, drive around here, you'll literally see signs saying vote no for our school budget, which I think is crazy. Luckily, we were able to get a ward system to be able to get 3 seats for, you know, the wards, but if it wasn't for that, we still would be majority white Jewish men voting for public school students that they don't care about. Yeah, and they purposely go out their way to isolate us. We're basically isolated to the point where we feel like this isn't our home.
A lot of people like to say they're ducking taxes and all that. There's truths and lies to that.
Okay, listen, I know this video is about Jews. And you can make the argument, there's a very easy argument that they are the bigger problem, since they're the ones causing the nuns to be here in the first place. But when I see a nun dressed like that, pants sagging, whatever the fuck he's wearing around his neck, rolling his eyes, whatever fucking colorful underwear he's wearing there, I just have to assume he's a drug dealer. Like, he has a bare minimum, he's a drug dealer. I don't want him in my community either. Seriously. Like, I don't really feel much sympathy for these people because I know that they're not good people either. I mean, once again, what the Jews are doing, horrible. And I know they do it in other areas as well. But hard for me to respect this.
But I could only tell you that I've only seen the bad part. The bad part is I've seen houses get broken down. I've seen certain spaces, buildings get destroyed for, let's just say, for more kosher customs. You feel me? So
I want to thank you for showing our community. I don't believe in hiding. I believe we have a tremendous amount to be proud of. And like every community, we're different. We have our goods. Other communities have their positives.
Tell me about what are some of the best things about this community then.
Tonight at sundown, we shut our phones, we shut our cars, we go to shul. The most beautiful part of our religion, do you understand that Orthodox Jews can be anywhere? The sun is coming down and it's the last opportunity to pray what's called mincha, which is afternoon services. They could be in the most important meetings and they'll go pray. And they could care less about anything happening. The same things with Shabbos. We come home, our families are waiting. We sing Shalom Aleichem. We welcome in the Shabbos, and you'll say back Aleichem Shalom, right?
Could they feed 10 kids without those programs?
I am one of 10 children.
You're driving a G-Wagon, bro.
My father was never on any welfare. I used to reuse sandwich bags to save my father a penny.
That's great for you.
You're not welcome here, and you're not welcome in a lot of other places based on your video.
What about me, though?
I love you, man. You are funny.
You don't own this place. You don't own America. I can do whatever I want.
Whatever you want.
Get in your G-Wagon, get to work.
You're not trying to bring people together. You never did. You never.
What fucking headphones is he wearing? Okay, I know I should talk about the points at hand, but one, he looks ridiculous, and two, I'm not sure exactly what the rules and regulations are, but I'm assuming they're pretty tight 'cause it's New York City. But I thought it was illegal to wear headphones while driving because then you can't actually hear what's going on I mean, I guess they could be earmuffs, but they look a lot more like headphones. I thought, like, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to wear headphones while driving because you can't hear for any, like, if a crash happens or ambulance has to go by, and any sirens in general. He's wearing that there. I know they don't have any respect for the law whatsoever, but still, you know? Like, okay. And once again, like, okay, good for his father not being on any welfare, but for having 10 kids, and clearly they're pretty well off. At what cost, though? What cost?
Well, it's who you are. Somebody hurt you deeply, and I'm sorry.
He was right. Someone did hurt me. Whoever told my sponsors to pull out after making one video exploring a community of welfare-addicted Jews. If you want to help me avoid ending up on welfare too, and get access to all of these videos early, and watch never-before-seen content I can't upload on YouTube, go subscribe to my Patreon at Patreon.
Reminder, Patreon's been also shut down. Go to his website, LrdAlucard.com.
.com/Tyler Oliveira for $5 a month. Back to the video. After speaking to frustrated Goyim in Muncie, I headed to Lakewood, New Jersey, one of the fastest growing Orthodox Jewish communities in America, where a similar Jewish takeover has taken place, leading to the gutting of the public school system, all while turning a predominantly working class Irish and Italian town into Little Jerusalem.
I'm trying to merge a gap to see if there's any way that we could actually be one community. Because as you can tell, it's two separate communities. Look around. You will not see a non-Jewish resident here.
We got the Yiddish bus.
This is really all Jewish stores.
Sure.
Now, that pizza place, it's
That should just be illegal. The fucking school bus. Have it in English. English is now the national language. Should have been the national language ages ago. Like, that should legitimately be illegal to have signs in foreign languages.
going to be kosher pizza, probably.
A lot of these signs are written in Yiddish, and everything's insulated. Basically, you come here to this plaza, get everything you need. Quite convenient, quite nice.
Now, everyone can shop here. Of course, we could go in and they'll be friendly, but everything's geared towards one community. But
and is it always this way? This part here, is this newly developed in the last?
Oh yeah, so this used to be a concrete yard.
Got it.
So we're almost where we're standing. Used to have rows of concrete trucks.
Sure. It's bustling. It's busy. Now, this place was packed with Jews buying groceries for Shabbos, but keep in mind, Goyim are fully allowed to come in here and shop whenever they please.
They're very friendly. I don't think anybody's going to be nasty to us. Is a lot of the fear bullshit warranted? Definitely not. Definitely not. But I do think they don't feel comfortable enough to do it.
But it's important to understand the bigger picture here. As kosher stores move in, more Jews move here too, creating a positive feedback loop where a town rapidly becomes a Jewish hub, ultimately changing the character and identity of a town, and in Lakewood's case, overwhelming the infrastructure. Before we explore the many implications of life for Goyim as towns like Lakewood become increasingly Jewish, I want you to understand how quickly the word anti-Semitism gets weaponized in real time out here.
Tyler, it seems like you discovered that anti-Semitism is lucrative, no?
Why do you think anything that you don't like to see is anti-Semitism? What have I said that's anti-Semitic? Go.
When you talk about people accepting government money, and the overlay is a bunch of pictures of fraud, you're trying to twist it to make it look like we're doing fraud.
There were welfare programs that were defrauded by Jews. What did I say that was a lie?
There are
Go.
welfare programs that are defrauded by
Yes,
everybody.
and I made a Minneapolis video as well. I've made several videos. Why are you being so sensitive?
What you're trying to make it sound is like anyone who accepts government money in the Jewish community is doing fraud.
That's your interpretation.
What you're doing is dangerous.
I mean, listen, I like to use pattern recognition from time to time. I might be retarded, but my IQ is high enough to recognize patterns, you know, on a case-by-case basis, from time to time. And if there's a bunch of ethnic enclaves popping up throughout the United States, well, that because they're brown or Jewish or whatever the case is, they often use welfare programs to defraud the government, then yeah, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant and a little bit wary, a little bit suspicious when I see a Jew in general, or a Somalian. Well, that case I know is basically certain. Or what are the cases? Because it's like, okay, so I've seen this all before. The chances are actually pretty high that you could be one of them. You might not be. But is it worth the risk? Yeah, I think it's worth the risk to be a little bit anti-Semitic, then, if that's the case. Especially if that's your definition of anti-Semitism, then fuck, go ahead.
How How is this dangerous? Why should you be treated like a protected group? You're asking for special privileges.
No, we're not.
All
We're
right.
asking just to be fair, and you're not being fair.
I am being fair.
This is going to make you a lot of money, and it's going to gin up a lot of hatred towards a community that's seeing a rise in anti-Semitism that hasn't been seen in years. Every single day, our lives are at risk, and this is going to lead to more.
My sponsor literally got pulled.
Are they really at risk? Because they seem pretty fine right now. They're all gathering around him. I mean, they're the one being aggressive to him. For some reason, they had the kids, out and about too. Are they really at risk? 'Cause they seem perfectly fine and dandy here. Like, one thing I will give Jews credit for, when it actually comes to violent crime, they are basically non-existent compared to the other nuns. I think they're relatively okay. I know we got a Fed poster in chat that wants to make sure they're not okay, but no one's gonna go after them. Not even the other nuns, the other blacks are gonna be trying to invade their community. They've been pushed out themselves. They can't afford any of this stuff. There's not enough joints, and bong stores to get their weed and their paraphernalia. It's just too nice of an area. They've been priced out. They're going to be having their violent gang wars in a different section, of New Jersey instead. I don't think they need to worry about anything.
Pulled out of the video once they learned the topic of that video. I lost the sponsorship. How is that lucrative? Tell me. So you say anti-Semitism, I say anti-Goyism. Listen, man, you got a kid in the car, I just noticed. Drive your kid home, get your groceries. You're getting honked at. Let's go. It was good to meet you, though.
So you're arguing with the United States because the president obviously thought that we should pay for their money, so why don't you move to a different country?
Why don't you move back to Israel then if there's so much anti-Semitism, right? Like that guy said. Why doesn't he go to Israel?
We are giving back.
Good point. But I also noticed too, not all of them have, but some of them do have accents. So either they're directly, like, have immigrated from Israel, or the community is so thick and so enclosed that they have kept the accent there from they're passing on to the descendants from the first few waves of immigration, which is a bad sign. Because, I mean, they're clearly not assimilating. You can tell by their dress, you can tell by the stores and the signs and everything else and how they're acting here. But to go as far to be so insulated that even the accent change, because that means they're not like really watching TV. They're not on the internet. They're not doing really interacting with anybody else other than themselves whatsoever. Like, that means they're just fully enclosed. That's a whole other level of an enclave that most communities don't even go into.
In theory, welfare is a good idea. It's sweet, right? At what point is it too far? Because this is a program designed to help single moms after they get divorced and keep the kid from starving.
I also disagree with you that someone doesn't have a right to have a child.
I think you should have a child if you can afford it, right?
Interrupt real quick?
Sure. Let's hear it.
Okay. You two gentlemen, I saw a video of you walking into 136 Hillside. They asked not
Fair
to
enough.
come back.
Amazing.
If you come back, it'll be a
trespass or what?
trespassing charge. You're
Fair
trespassing.
enough.
If you don't like the laws of America and you think that the government welfare is stupid or whatever,
I would like to change the laws. Just like you would like to create anti-Semitism protection laws that give you guys protected classes and protection against anti-Semitism, whatever that means, right?
So
why don't you go back to Israel? That would be my question.
Because I like it here.
Same here. I like it here, but I like to make some changes. We can both agree on that, right?
So please keep on.
We like it here, they say, as they purposely turn it into, like Tyler Oliveira said, Little Jerusalem. They could have their ethnic enclave in Israel. That's literally, the British literally carved that out specifically for them all those years ago. And they have the entire Western mythos on their back after World War II. They could have everything they have here in Israel, and my tax dollars are still paying for them somehow regardless in that case too. And yet they want to be here. Well, they weren't born, well, okay, some of these people might have been born here, but just because you're born in a stable doesn't make you a fucking horse. So that argument's out the fucking window. No more paperwork Americans, no birthright citizenship. We're not going to assimilate, which none of them do. But if you're not going to assimilate and you're going to create your own enclave, it doesn't matter if you like it here. Go back to your foreign country, because clearly you rather turn America into Israel than actually be American. Versus Tyler Oliveira is a legit American. He was born and raised here. This one actually matters because he's got direct generations after generations after generations that have come in. and he is trying to protect America by exposing this stuff. He is fully assimilated. He's got no accent. He's, speaking the language, wearing the dress, eating the food, all those other things they keep on pointing out. Well, look how superior my culture is. We have this special food and this special religion, all that other fun stuff. No, it's not that special. It's just every culture has special food and clothing and stuff like that, which is why you should celebrate that in the country of origin, because religion and ethnicity goes hand in hand, as we can clearly see here. Just go back to Israel.
God bless you. There we go. He loves us.
I know. Make a change.
Yeah, you guys have group chats of me. You guys say, beware of this guy like I'm like Hitler or something. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm a nice guy. I talk to everyone.
Elon Musk has 12 kids. Why can't I have 12 kids?
He pays for them.
Your story point over here is that people can't have children if they can't afford them. You, as a society, are born from people who started with two people. Two, okay? Adam and Eve. That's it. You want to go with the Big Bang, but it started at some point. There was two people. And now...
Why is his jacket say home loans on it? The joke is so obvious, I don't even want to make it. Like, literally, the chubby Jew complaining about about the argument about kids, people should have kids if they can only afford it. Works for, I'm assuming he works for a loan company.
There's billions, and there was trillions throughout the world. So you're saying if you cannot
What does that have to do with anything? All of those people didn't have welfare. Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel. Did they have a government to pay for their kids?
We live in a government that decides that if you have children, we're going to help you. Now everyone does their part.
You should not have more kids than you can afford. You're arguing that I should pay for your kids.
Okay.
That's what you're arguing.
I'm not arguing that I was for the kids.
You are.
I'm arguing that the government said.
No, that's our money. I pay taxes. I shouldn't be funding your kids.
And you elected Donald
Should
Trump.
not be funding your kids. You don't pay for my kids. Okay, fuck.
Yeah, and I fucking hate our government for allowing this. I mean, Trump's really good, and he's allowing. He's not allowing. He's fixing things up and changing different things. But one thing he needs to go after is welfare and change those laws around it as best as possible to stop this from happening. Because the government allows it doesn't make it fucking right. So frankly, I'm at the point where the argument of you shouldn't have kids if you can't afford it, I'm kind of throwing that out the window at this point. Because if all these nuns could have as many kids as they want and then leech out the government, then why can't I? Now, I wouldn't do that myself because that's shameful. And I don't want to be a leech. But I don't really care about the argument anymore because clearly they don't either. And I'm hurting myself and my lineage. I'm hurting future generations. I'm hurting my ancestors for not doing so. Also, a lot of people assume kids are a lot more expensive than they actually are because they're so been indoctrinated by consumerism. There are a lot of different ways to make kids really cheap. One is breastfeeding. That's literally for fucking free. Is to breastfeed your fucking kids. You don't have to worry about any of the formula bullshit that's actually poisoning them anyways. You can get cloth diapers, reusable cloth diapers, so you're not constantly buying diapers. That's one of the most expensive things that you're during the baby's, life, the first couple years of life that you're investing into is just constantly buying diapers. Use reusable cloth ones. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Other than that, the sleep baby eats and sleeps and shits. There's not that much the baby actually all that needs, other than a crib, maybe a little bit of toys, some books, different things like that. A lot of this stuff can be hand-me-down. You can go to Goodwill or your thrift store or whatever the case is and get access from that stuff there to help them out. And the same goes on for basically the rest of their life. If you have the wife stay at home, you don't have to pay for daycare because daycare is so expensive these days. You're basically just your wife's income just goes straight to that. You have very little money there, and it's much healthier to actually raise your kids and stay at home to be with them, at least for the first 6 years. And then you can send them to public school, which I'm not a fan of public school. I still think you should homeschool. But that will take care of the daycare costs, which is the vast majority of them, for the first 6 years, if you just have the stay-at-home wife. Or mother, in this case, I should say. So, with that in mind, plus kids don't even eat that much either. I know Americans have bad portion control, but kids don't eat that much. They're small little humans. They're not fully grown adults. Like there are so many different ways to make child rearing very affordable. You don't need to have the latest gadget. You don't need to have this super cool Wi-Fi controlled baby monitor. You don't need to give them an iPad, other things like that. Like you can just this is such a stupid argument these days.
I could do this all day. Why don't you go?
No, you should go because
You
people
should
are, you're stopping traffic.
You should move.
Guys, let's go. Move on.
He's stopping traffic, not me.
Yeah, right. No, you should move on. Nobody wants you here. Please move out.
He was saying, Tyler, he loves me.
So
man.
we're not
That's
allowed
right.
here? Come. You want to come to the corner?
Where? Over there? Let's go move. Let's go.
You know, I know what you did in the video and we all saw it and we still see it, but it's like...
What did I get wrong?
Nobody can cross the government. The government knows everything. The United States federal government knows everything.
Not if you're fraudulently found.
No, it's not true. That if you feel that you live in a country that is corrupt...
I do.
Why are you still living here?
Well, not everyone has options, right?
I can give you a list of 15, 20 countries off the bat that you can live in.
Yeah, regardless, let's say America is corrupt. I still want to live here.
Personally, I believe every government's corrupt because it's run by humans and humans are naturally corrupt. But we can advocate and try to change things and vote our way out of this as best as possible. And, you know, there are different things that we can do to make that happen by working with the local community. And Tyler Oliveira exposing fraud does put pressure on these local communities and the federal government because he is so big. Same with Nick Shirley to try to change this. Why should we move when it's our country? Like we have a stake in this. Our ancestors literally fought and died to build this country from literally nothing. Other than fucking trees and rivers, okay? We literally built civilization. Why do we have to leave because you're committing mass amount of fraud?
You understand?
Oh, but hold on. Just because there is corruption here, which there is.
There is no.
What are you talking about? Let's not be silly here.
If there would be corruption, the FBI would love to come here first than any other location in the world.
Come on, that's not...
Wait, hold on. Is that a self-report? if hypothetically, if there was fraud, the FBI would come here before anywhere else in the world. So, are you saying that the chances of you guys committing fraud is higher than Somalians in Minnesota? Which has been a hot topic for like 2 months now, for how bad they have abused the system? That's a little bit strange. Just a little bit suspicious in my opinion there.
Not true.
Well, I read the numbers in Minnesota.
Had, 22 people indicted for Medicaid fraud?
Numbers in Minnesota. And listen, you can attack them as much as you want. What they did, that's big numbers, man.
Both of your schools had money laundering. You had people, yes, both.
There's 45 schools here.
So BMG had people that were charged with money laundering, and so did the school for special villains.
As of when?
2019, 2018, 2017. Look it up. It's all over Google.
I don't look it up. You got to show it to me.
Come on.
95% of people in this vicinity between these 4 or 5 zip codes work very hard.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and dig in a place like here, Lakewood, where the same capital you're going to find in this small percentage...
You're making me want to dig now. You're making me want to look.
You're already digging, man. You're digging already for
I'm at Whole Foods.
4
What
months.
are you talking about? 4 months?
What do you mean? Go break your head. You can keep on breaking your head.
I will break my head,
No problem. Eventually, when you break your head too much, you end up digging water. When you dig water, there's nothing under it.
You were in Jackson, which is really...
What does his analogy mean? I shouldn't ask what it means. Like I know what he's getting there. And I know I'm not very smart myself, and I make dumb analogies all the time when I mix up my words and things like that. But I think there'd be ground underwater, because that's just how it works. But okay then. He's trying to sound all smart as and philosophical, and it's like when you dig for water, there's nothing there. Huh?
like a continuation of Lakewood. By the way, I don't know if you know how I toppled the government there. They had all these anti-Semitic laws. It was crazy. I had 2 conversations with the White House, and eventually DOJ got involved. But anyway, so I don't know. Are you already doing your Lakewood thing?
I'm here with Dr. Richard Roberts. You sold a pharmaceutical company for $800 million. You were the vice chairman of the Israel Advisory Committee for Donald Trump in 2016.
Yes.
And you reached out to me. Why did you reach out to me via email?
Because you posted that, first of all, you did your video, Curious Yoel in New York, and got a lot of Orthodox Jews very, very upset.
But why did you reach out to me?
But towards the end of the video, you saw the altruism in the community, and you seem to respect that. And since I could see that you seem to me to have a sincere desire to actually get the real facts, because if you were just bigoted against us, you wouldn't be struck or commenting on the altruism in our community.
But you casually toppled the Jackson government. A, what does that mean? B, how did you get a relationship with the White House?
I never spoke to DOJ. I did speak to people in the White House twice to tell them what was going on, because...
Who in the White House?
I think I don't want to say.
First off, though, so you mentioned Jackson's a continuation of Lakewood.
I mean, I get why he doesn't want to say, because those are people in high places, and he doesn't want to out his contacts. Because anyone in his position wouldn't want to do that. But especially in his position, actually. Especially it's precarious, because he's reaching out to Tyler Oliveira about such a hot topic when anti-Semitism is at its rise and is rising even more. Like, I mean, for fuck's sakes, Anna Kasparian was calling people goys on Twitter. So it's very much slowly becoming more and more popular with time. He's putting a target on his back, and he would put a target on his contacts as well by doing so. But it's still funny nonetheless. He does have people in high places in the White House. He's like, well, I didn't actually speak to Donald Trump. Well, I did talk to the White House twice. I did, we did, take over this area. But you seem genuine. So I'm going to try to, talk to you and maybe make things right. Maybe throw you over a couple $1 million and see if he accepts.
Toppled the governments. You went to the White House willy-nilly.
Called.
Okay. You're connected to the White House.
By the way, I rarely leave my house.
Which just goes to show the scale of your connections, in my opinion. I hear this voicemail, I'm like, shiver me timbers, who am I dealing with a little bit here, right? Like, this guy's...
Little old
my,
me.
All right, so he's calling. And you might be wondering, why are mega wealthy Jewish power brokers connected to Donald Trump trying to set the record straight with a lowly goy tuber like myself? This all begs the question, why are they so afraid of me?
I think they just don't want you to portray Lakewood in a bad way. That's really all it is.
Is there any bad to see?
There's bad to see everywhere. It's good to see everywhere.
Exactly. Good, bad, and the ugly everywhere, right?
100%. I used to live here in Lakewood when I was in 9th and 10th grade. I love Lakewood. There's so much Jewish life here. It's so easy to be Jewish, and everything's cheaper. It's amazing here.
Why did Lakewood become such a large Jewish hub?
So I think it started with BMG, Base Marriage Gavoa, and then you had a lot. You know BMG?
Yeah. Tell me more about BMG, though, right? I hear it's like the Harvard of yeshivas.
Yes, it's top notch. You just sit and learn all day. You already finished your high school phase. Most people went to Israel already, came back, and they just sit and learn.
They went to Israel and came back? I like how he's just saying that out open and out loud. I mean, one, this place is gorgeous. I would say, like, the architecture is great. They're clearly maintaining it well, which I'm not that surprised, but still. And they come to Israel and come back? Stay in fucking Israel. You can't make this even more obvious than it already is. Jesus. He's saying this like it's something to be proud of. Well, I mean, I guess, and I can understand why they're probably proud of it, because it's all their hard work swindling the government and my tax dollars there. But we can be proud of this if this is in Israel. So if you're going to be you're visiting that anyways, like, just. I think it's for, like, a pilgrimage. I don't fucking care. If you're clearly that, like, obviously their religion is very tied to Israel and making the pilgrimage to, whatever their equivalent is. Not Mecca, because that's Islam, but whatever the equivalent is there. Just, like, then I don't, just stay there so you don't have to make the pilgrimage in the first place. Also, my Discord died. And my Ko-Fi died. I hope stream doesn't die. Why are you dying? I kind of need this stuff. I kind of need you to work. Please. I guess I'll let it sit. I'll let it figure itself out and continue on.
All the time. It's amazing. I used to do it when I was a teenager. Lakewood's an amazing place and everything. And I think I've seen your videos all over. I just think that people get nervous and stuff like that. But you're just coming here filming the truth, and you're working just like we are. That's it. We're all in the same boat.
What should we know about Lakewood?
It's a great place. You're always welcome here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we've got, no, it's welcoming for the most part. A few guys are fired up. We try to give them the chance to speak, have a conversation. Do a little psst.
Okay, man.
What whisper did we miss?
Nothing. I gotta go now, but
I love it. To a T. A guy gets a whisper, then he goes quiet. Would you like to say anything?
You're being a little too friendly with the goy there. You're being a little bit too comfy, a little bit too intimate with them. You need to stop it there. You know, shut it down.
How you doing? Or with this guy whispering in his brethren's ears. He comes up when they're talkative and sweet, and he goes, psst, 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 and then they stop talking. It is miraculous. Tyler, good to meet you. What's your name?
If I say something good, you're gonna put it on?
Let's go. So we just met up with the guy. He was like pissed off that we like come around here and explore. This guy's killing me, dude. The psst, psst. This is, he's treating you like a child.
So the whole world's gonna laugh so nice. I know.
This is pathetic. He's treating you like a child. Who is this guy?
Why are you guys being told what to say?
Let the man speak.
This is so fucking gay. Like, does he not realize that by doing this, he makes himself and the community look worse? I mean, at least the guy in the car is reasonable and being like, okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, he doesn't seem exactly happy. That's why he's being like, if I say something good, would you keep it in the video? It's a taunt, but he's still being respectful with it. But then this other guy goes, whisper, whisper, you know, cannot lie, do not tell to everybody under the sun. There's obviously a bunch of people in the back there that are recording him and everything. Like, that makes them look like assholes. And makes them look like they're, well, culpable in committing the crime that he's accusing them of. And even if they're not, it's not helping them in their favor when it comes to optics. And unfortunately, optics are actually important. So, this guy's an idiot.
Okay, does that not look like suspicious activity?
Why is there so much secrecy if you have nothing to hide?
Why would he do that? He's the head whisperer. All right, tell me what you're going to say.
How much money everyone makes in this town? Crazy amount.
What?
That's also not helping the Jewish claims.
Gonna follow us.
There's a police response, special response unit, and the cops had their internal monologue that they're gonna just trail us around.
Amazing. So given that the cops are being called so often, they're just gonna follow us around all day. Land of the free, home of the brave. And then I stumbled.
Are the cops also Jewish? I'm kind of curious about that now. As I could totally, if they've already taken over all the school systems and the board and the whole area, the cops are probably also Jewish as well. They're more than happy to tail them around.
Upon a kosher collision, another example of Lakewood's infamously terrible driving. We were just showing how densely trafficked it is out here, how much traffic there is. We wanted to show some of the driving differences out here.
I don't think you're saying a fair statement. This has nothing to do with dense driving.
Oh, what does it have to do with bad driving skills or snow?
Totally because of the snow.
Fair.
That was a miscommunication.
That's fair.
I understand what you...
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a little bit critical here. If this was Texas and they had this much snow, I would probably let it slide because they're not used to actually getting that, except for their crazy weather events every 10 years. We're talking about New Jersey, okay, where they get lots of snow, and obviously they had a decent amount. You can tell by the snow being piled up on the sides and how gross and disgusting it is. I'm looking at that road, and that looks perfectly clear and normal to me. No black ice, or like, you know, and any of that stuff. Yeah, there's icicles hanging down from the cars because they've been sitting outside, but like that's no big deal. Like these roads look perfectly fine. It's probably been like at least 2 days since it snowed last, since the context of the recording here. It's gonna be my rough estimation. That's such a bullshit excuse. Sorry. I know what it's like to drive in snow. This ain't shit. This ain't it, Chief.
Trying to say.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. There were actually no one on the road.
Totally fair, okay. You need help getting pushed? All right, all right.
Well, why are you making up a story? Because you need a documentary. There was not one car in sight by accident.
Oh, you just hit the wall.
That's it.
You didn't hit anyone?
No.
Do you need help?
That actually might make him sound worse, depending on the context. Like, you just randomly rammed into the pool? I'm still not talking the snow story, so were you just, like, texting and driving? This makes him look worse, actually.
Pushed. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, you're good. Different than anyone else.
You need a job.
I agree.
You need a job?
No, I mean, I'm employed. I employ a lot of people, actually.
Yeah, you make money for doing nothing.
For doing nothing? Do you think moving capital and charging interest is something more valuable than I do, or what?
What? I think you should write about
Tell me.
the hundreds of thousands of people that do favors to people every day.
Tell me more.
Open up a book. You never saw so many charity organizations as you have here in Lake.
I know there's so many 501c3s. It makes me wonder. Are they all charitable? Are they fiending for tax exemptions? You know, would you say this is a great place to move to for a young family? If I have a kid or a wife, a young wife? Okay. Not just the Jews.
My best friends are going.
Okay, respect.
I have a black friend. My best friends are goyim. Doesn't even like. It's actually worse than the whole my I have a black friend, because he uses the word goyim. He like, he doesn't say I have non-Jews as friends. He specifically says goyim, which is their word for non-Jews and is used derogatorily. But he says my best friends are goyim. I don't really think they're your best friends then if you call them goyim then. Like, it's like saying my best friends and, well, I can't say the slur, but in Enwa, you know, you get my vibe. You get what I'm picking up, right? Like, what? Jesus Christ.
What do we have here? We have a... Hey, it's good to meet you.
Oh, Mr. Whisper again?
I saw it. What is the name of that organization once again? Hatzalah. Okay, good to meet you, man. See you later.
Wait, so literally Jewish EMTs. Can't say I'm surprised.
Have Hatzalah appear to help the community. Yeah, this guy doesn't even know what the First Amendment is.
We're busy with the knife.
Don't be a joker, bro.
Wait,
Come
does
on.
he have a small hat or not? Because that policeman was attractive. I can't tell he's wearing a small hat because he's got dark hair. Please don't be a Jew.
Man, see you later. And we have Hatzalah appear to help the community. Yeah, this guy doesn't even know what the First
I can't see it. I don't think there's one. He's hot though.
Amendment is.
We're busy with the knife.
Don't be a joker, bro. Come on.
Yes. I don't see it as he's walking away. I think that's just his dark hair. So I think it's safe. Okay, I am finally attracted to somebody who is not a Jew and gay. Or I should say and or gay. Oh, finally. Sweet relief.
Come over here. Come over here. All right. I need to get you like a second number, son. What's your Instagram? You got Facebook?
No, I don't.
Look at these hundreds. My phone number's been leaked.
You're a little child. Give me a number. I promise you.
Why are you insulting?
I'm not insulting.
You just insulted.
Come on, I'm a little child.
So give me a number. I promise you I'll make it worth it for you.
All right, look, give me your email. Give me your email. Give me your email.
732. Give you my number.
All right, hold on. And what was your first name?
Moshe.
We're gonna do some big stuff.
You're afraid, I see.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh man, these guys are next level. I feel like I got dropped off on an alien planet. And you might be wondering, what is Hatzalah and how are they able to blast through red lights like that?
It's like a community watch, but they think they are cops. If you notice, they had their lights on and they just ran a red light, just like a police officer would do. No uniform. They had the Jewish uniform on, white pants and yeah.
Wait, so they're not actually EMTs? I just figured they were just the Jewish version. Like they took over a hospital and renamed it to be something Jewish instead, like they did with the schools and stuff like that. They're not actual real EMTs. What is that legal? Wait, what? That's a whole different level right there. That's actually that is illegal because only red and blue lights could be used for emergency services. Actual real emergency services like cops, EMTs, and firefighters, not some sort of local community watch group that's going to pretend to be the EMTs instead. I thought they were actually real, just the Jewish version of it. They're private cops? This is somehow worse than I thought it was actually going to be.
Curls in a police car is what it looked like, but he's not a police officer, and he's blasting through the lights like he is a cop. There's a Hatzola billboard right there, Mike. And what is that for?
I mean, you're asking me questions. I don't know if I have the answers to why, because once again, because there's competing Haztola. You have competing groups of these.
Of a non-profit volunteer emergency service?
Yes. It sounds like a business, right?
But
hold on, wait a second. I see graphs. I must look at them. Zola Emergency Medical Services Incorporated, Lakewood, New Jersey. Tax exempt since May 1994. Type of nonprofit. 501c. Organizations for any of the following purposes: religious, educational, charitable, scientific, literary, testing for public safety, fostering national or international amateur sports competition, as long as it doesn't provide athletic facilities or equipment, prevention of cruelty to children and animals. Category: public safety, disaster preparedness relief, disaster preparedness relief services. Donations to the organization are tax deductible. So, is it real? Okay. Preparedness and relief. Okay, that makes sense. And they made $7.5 million in 2024 in revenue. Jesus Christ. So this is technically legal by becoming this like 501 for being the whole disaster preparedness and relief. But are they actually legal though? Because like they are in this case, but they use the red lights and sirens and not be real EMTs. And it's a non-profit, and all NGOs are scams at this point. I don't like, and that means my tax dollars are also helping with their breaks that they're getting. Yeah, this something's fishy. Something's 100% off about this.
literally every organization out here is a tax-exempt 501c3. If you dig through the filing, go on ProPublica.com, you'll be surprised to realize everything basically is a tax-exempt 501c3.
Yes, because it's all through the religions.
What are your concerns? Why are we interviewing you?
So I think I echo the concerns of many non-religious people in my area. And the biggest concern is how one group of people gets to act that is separate, segregated from everybody else.
And that group being Jews.
Yeah, yes, Jews, exactly, yeah, 100%. But you know what, it's in my area, it's Jews. In other areas, like you obviously see the Somalian, right? In Minnesota, there's things that are happening all over the area. But yes, in my particular area, it is Jews. And it's Jews that are expanding their territory.
Okay, so my name is Jenna Galarza. I've lived in Jackson for approximately 23 years. I want to say it really started affecting me when I had my children. I have twins, they're 20 now. In assimilation perspective, you want to be able to teach your children how to talk to other children and, you know, be part of other cultures. And that was when it really started hitting me.
What hit you?
You know, let's say if I would go to a store which was closer to Lakewood, you know, I'm pushing a double stroller, I have twins, and I noticed that nobody would hold the door open for you. At one point, a door literally got slammed on my twin stroller, and I was just like, whoa. At that point, there wasn't a lot of Orthodox living in Jackson, but they were coming to our parks a lot. And they would come to the parks, busloads, vans full, and the park would just get turned upside down. I mean, we're talking about diapers being changed anywhere and being thrown on the floor. We're talking about children literally urinating in public and absolutely not interacting with your children. So listen, at that time, if it was a minion, there was 10 men.
So they're basically Indian? Like, I thought the Jews were the ones that controlled the Indians, as you can see based off Netanyahu meeting, oh, why am I blanking on his name? the Indian Prime Minister, I forget his name. That was a funny interaction. Oh, there. But like, there's throwing diapers. Modi, there we go. Um, Indians with funny hats, and they're just that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Though I do find it interesting. And obviously it's not always the case. Like for example, Renee Good was a fucking lesbian, had a butch wife and had kids of her own. But I do find it interesting how white women become more racist when they actually finally have kids. This is within the general lines of like people becoming more conservative when they get older and have kids because they actually have to put an investment in the future, and there's a lot more policies and well concerns to have once kids are at stake, and you actually learn by having them yourself, and it makes it more conservative because you see other people, this case littering and not just littering, straight up fucking dirty diapers and urinating in the parks, and you're just like, okay, maybe I should, be part of the school board or the local government board there, and try to change the policy to stop this from happening, and that usually makes conservatism because you start protecting your own and fighting back against the out group.
Not a big deal. But then you started to notice that it was no longer just 10 people. It was 20 people and 30 people. Just completely changing the feel, the character, the comfort that you once had in your neighborhood is no longer there.
And another source of conflict is the Jewish community using residential homes as places of worship, often without approval from the Jackson Planning Board, bringing in tons of outside traffic and destroying the peaceful quality of the neighborhood.
We can have if you work in an office.
I could maybe make an argument that that's a little bit too government over regulation, where you have to have the local government be like, you can't worship there. I feel like that's a little bit much because like it's kind of like a party in a way, we have a bunch of people over for an event. That's basically what it is, just a religious one. However, when you are in such a close-knit community like that edition that it was shown there, and you're clogging up the streets, making loud noises and mumbling your mumbo jumbo, I can definitely see where people wish if they can't legally handle it themselves because of either lack of gun laws or they don't want to start a fight and get arrested or whatever the case is, that's where the government will have to step in because that's going a bit too far in that case.
And there's 10 Jewish men there, you can just take a conference room for 10 minutes. We don't need like a formal like church. I've prayed in parking lots with, we're going somewhere and there's get other guys together. And,
But if you're living in a residential neighborhood and this house becomes like a revolving door of people coming in and praying constantly, parking their cars, I imagine there's some quality of life concerns, right? Increase in traffic and the streets being covered with cars and people all over the place, or what?
I don't think that that's what really happened, but maybe on like the Sabbath. But you'll have any Semites will probably say that because they don't like us. They don't want us.
Yeah, why don't they not like you? Why do they not want you? Because you are making their quality of life to go down. Personally, I'd rather just have regular churches, Christian churches, and not have random Jews parking their cars in parking lots and then having a little huddled meeting in the cold to do the prayers. Personally, I don't want Muslims having their call the prayer, blasting that fucking mumbo jumbo into the void as well. Like, for some reason, it only seems to be one religion that actually likes to keep it indoors and within certain places and actually follow the rules and regulations before you can actually worship and keep to themselves. I wonder why that's the case. Got the music.
This home used to be probably about 1,100 square feet. It does have a new owner.
Okay.
Apparently, they did get permits to expand on their house. Most of the permits are just, kind of just given. Nothing is really followed through.
Okay.
This home will be being used for a full-out temple.
Temple.
Yeah. Well, that means that they're going to be praying in this home several times a day, probably staying over on Friday nights until Saturdays. As you could see, there's no parking lot here. This is going to affect every person that lives here. And the other problem that I have with this, and that I think should be looked into, is there's definitely funding going to these places.
If I was a concerned neighbor and I said, hey, they're building a temple, what the hell? What might happen next?
You would probably be called an anti-Semite. You know, they will make your life miserable. Nobody wants to live across the street to a synagogue. It is a tactic of getting people to sell their homes, and they will have buyers for them.
And you see this, and
I love this lady. Like, racist white woman? Hell fucking yeah. But, well, I don't know. We'll see what her opinion is on the blacks. I hope they're the same and consistent, because they're arguably worse with how they ruin the community there. But let's she's clearly looking into this, and she's clearly made the connections, and it's so nefarious what they're doing. Just to purposely force people out, so they're gonna buy a home so people can just make the enclave even bigger. That's... I don't think there's a strong enough word that exists for just how simply pure evil that is. Just to drive them out by doing that. That... I cannot imagine. I could not fucking imagine, man. I'm so glad I live out in the country.
then you watch buildings get built before they're approved. They build and ask permission later, and then if they even don't get permission, they sue and they win for permission. So when you have all these things where they're creating hatred, they create the double standard, they create the animosity between two groups. And when I say they, I mean governments and people that buy off politicians to make favorable laws, because a lot of the shit they do is legal because they bought the politicians to make it legal.
Do you think residents in Jackson who do not want Jackson to be majority Jewish or to look, feel, and sound like Lakewood, do you think that is anti-Semitic?
Well, people have a right to freedom of speech and freedom of their opinion, even if they're going to be bigoted.
Do you think that's bigoted, though, right? Because I imagine you don't want this place to be Islamic.
Only because the radical Islamists want to kill us. Other than that, I have no problem.
And they're radical Jews and they're radical Christians, right?
Which Orthodox Jews are radical Jews that want to hurt people?
Many people could argue there are distinct sects of Judaism that are
Israel in general.
I don't know. I'm just saying, you wouldn't want Lakewood to become predominantly Muslim. Radicalism aside, though, right?
Right.
Just like Jackson residents don't want it to be predominantly Jewish.
So if a Muslim wants to buy a house here and pay way more than what the house would sell outside of our community because of the fact that the prices go up and we come in, they're free to do it. Yeah,
but I just don't think it's bigoted for you to not want it to be predominantly Muslim. Why would you? You're Jewish.
So Jackson Strong is...
Oh, this guy is such a fucking snake. He's trying so hard to be like, you know, the typical liberal ideal. Like, oh, it's okay if a Muslim comes in and buys a house, but yeah, I don't exactly like it if it's like a large amount of Muslims, because they're so violent. Like, not being able to see the hypocrisy in that, because in his mind, they're completely peaceful, even though they're using passive-aggressive manipulation tactics by one, fraud, and two, buying up politicians, and planting different supports within the local government to defund schools so they can use those funds for their own people, and then buying up houses to build synagogues, and then trying to drive people out that way. I think that's actually pretty evil. They might not be going Allahu Akbar and blowing people up, but you're still distracting and ruining their lives, just a little bit more slowly, but still insufferable enough. But he doesn't care because they're Jewish, and therefore it's okay.
Is kind of like a unofficial organization that I had started. When I saw everything turning, I just was very vocal on social media, and I decided to organize. Certain people really wanted to get involved. There were a few of us that, you know, we would have letter writing campaigns, making a lot of calls to county officials, local officials, and state officials, trying to find out what ordinances could be created, what we could do to help prevent a full-out turnover. A sign would say, Jackson Strong, don't sell, meaning if a new neighbor moves in next to you, don't run, don't sell. Why would you move? Stay strong, right?
Would they sell?
They would sell because it just got too much. And anytime you would say anything about it, you were anti-Semitic. I mean, there were Facebook pages created just to slander me. You know, they would manipulate pictures of me. They would put, you know, Russian hats on me, a Hitler mustache. You know, these were things that were even coming out of Israel. At one point there was a post where, you know, somebody had said that, you know, she needs to have an ice pick in her eye, you know, and something like that. I did go to the prosecutor's office, and my Jackson Strong page was taken down for no good reason at all. It was just taken down. There was a page, Rise Up Ocean County, which was a pretty important part of everything that was happening. That page was taken down also. However, it was hijacked. So when our page was taken down, just for stating the facts, when you're bringing out the Kaporis incidents, when they're cutting the necks of the chickens and blood is pouring through the streets, and then you're talking about that and you're posting videos, and all of a sudden your Facebook page gets taken down, only to be replaced with a complete anti-Goyim harassment page. And you could report that page over and over, and you could have a campaign of people reporting that page, yet that page remained up.
Do you want Lakewood to...
And yet they don't control anything. I thought it was already pretty anti-Semitic as it was. But like, just hearing it on like a more local level on I'm not gonna say smaller issues, but like a Facebook page, right? Not like the end of the world for a Facebook page. But it shows, like, even, because when you have to report this to Facebook, and usually with enough reports, Facebook looks into it, because it's like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? And it still doesn't go down. I just, they clearly have some sort of influence. Something's going on. Something's going on here. But I just can't exactly put my finger on it.
Be predominantly Muslim? Just you personally?
No.
And why?
Because it's a...
Let's say they don't want to kill you.
I'm fine with people moving in, but to have Jewish schools, we have to have a critical mass of Jews here to support Jewish schools. To have kosher grocery stores, supermarkets, we have to have a critical mass of Orthodox Jews here to support kosher supermarkets.
But why do you need that? You can just go to Israel. Like, you literally have a full fucking country. I know I keep on saying this throughout the whole entire video. We're only halfway through it, which is terrifying. But it's just like, they keep on making these arguments like, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that just to live here and respect our religion and stuff like that. But you literally have a whole ass country that's been carved out specifically for you by the British Empire. Oh, like 100 years ago at this point. Americans carved out their own country for themselves. Why are you doing this to them? And you try to play victims all the time. But, oh, Palestine is evil. Iran, Iraq, all these other Middle Eastern shithole countries, which I don't support them either, obviously, because I don't like nuns in general. But, and you're trying to play victim whenever they dislike you. Well, because you keep on forcing you're forcing your way into places that you don't belong. And, so, you're invasive species. You're a fucking pest. And you're ruining people's lives.
By the way,
so using that logic, why would anyone in Jackson want Jackson to have more and more Jews move? If you're arguing there needs to be a critical mass for...
How are we infringing on their right, on their ability to do whatever they want?
I'm not saying you are, but why would they want that? Why would it be bigoted?
They don't have to want or not want. If somebody's selling their house to an Orthodox Jew, the Orthodox Jew is allowed to buy the house.
Sure, but I'm talking about the people who are not selling their houses to Orthodox Jews.
Then they have the right to do that.
Of course. But that doesn't make them a bigot to not want it. It doesn't mean they're hateful. It doesn't mean they hate you.
What is it of their lifestyle that we're going to change?
All right, so we could start with the traffic. Infrastructure-wise, they're just throwing up these ginormous structures. They tend to have basement apartments also, so they'll rent those out. Right now, there is probably upwards 2,000 to 3,000 homes that have been bought and are just being rented out right now by the Orthodox community that they will move in when they're ready to move into them. There's been a problem with light pollution. Now we're seeing just LED lights everywhere. You know, there's a lot of issues. And then let's just talk about the thing that breaks my heart more than anything, which is the school system. So what's happening is our Board of Education is going bankrupt. Between the formula and the state giving all of the money to the poorer communities, which has been proven to not work. We're losing that kind of funding, but we're being depleted from the busing. We are required by state law to provide busing to all of the private school students. Why are we paying for busing for schools that are not teaching a standard curriculum? If 80% or 90% of their curriculum is religious studies, why are the taxpayers paying for that busing. And then to add insult to injury, we have recently sold 2 of our schools, and they have been bought by the Orthodox community.
Who are you, Chris?
I am a councilman in
All those questions, all those points are completely valid, but because it's anti-Semitic to point it out, nothing's gonna happen at all. And it's just, it's very upsetting. I'm glad it's not my community when it comes to something like this specifically, though my own community has its own problem, of course. But it's just, you just feel so powerless. I mean, this woman is doing her absolute best to advocate for this, but she keeps getting knocked down over and over and over again. Good on Tyler Oliveira to actually reach out to her and have her a good chunk of the video and describe what she's going through and what they're dealing with. But there's nothing they can really do if they're constantly being bought out over and over and over again. I am so blackpilled, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can do, and it looks like we're getting to like a new transition in the video. So I'm gonna pause here for a second and catch up with super chats. I know I got behind again. My apologies, chat. I'm trying. It's a long ass video, so I'm trying to get through it. Fairly quickly. Not exactly going well. But basically doing what this guy's doing, and I'm assuming he's gonna try to fight with the actual people of Jackson and not get them replaced in real time. This is a whole different spin to the Great Replacement, right? Great Replacement is always tied up at how the Browns are taking over, and it's always, and obviously Tiny Hats are the ones facilitating this. But apparently these Tiny Hats are also part of the Great Replacement themselves. She's lying. She just loves to yap and ignore us. Well, there's also that factor too. Oh, and thank you, YouTube Pros, for hitting the goal over there. Thank you for that. Your generosity is greatly appreciated, even if I am ignoring you because I hate you. So I will wear the P.E.P.E. hoodie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So, thank you, Anxiety, for the $2. Thank you. Hey, little Moon, how's your day? Hope is good. My day's actually been pretty okay. I fell asleep early, unfortunately, and then I didn't sleep for very long, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I stayed up and did some other things before stream, but overall it's been pretty good, and now I'm becoming more anti-Semitic by the minute. I thank you, Marangatu, for the $2 reduce. Look up the New Zealand sign language for Jew. I'll do that real quick. So now I'm curious. I probably won't show it on screen for the sake of time. I was like, and now I'm looking. Like, wait, hold on. Getting messages. Oh, second. I'm assuming it's like something with like the nose. New Zealand Jew. And well, the AI overview was like, in 2019, the New Zealand Sign Language Dictionary was criticized for featuring an offensive, stereotypical gesture for Jew, represented a hooked nose. I figured it had to be something to do with that. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Whew. There, I say as I'm yawning. Just a hooked nose. That's beautiful. Phenotypes, man. I think it's less than topping here for the 500 warp tokens. Thank you. That move, asshole knight. Oh, nope. It's because you fed post doesn't mean I can fed post for you. I'm sorry, chat. I think it's less than for the $2 reduce. The Kanye West song is my anthem now. Yes, whatever Kanye West song you're talking about, totally. And thank you, Vaughn Felsenbrot, for the $25 reduce. Thank you. Hey, Mal, hope your Friday's gone well. Just dropping by to spread the love and friendship by donating to the pony. Yeah, I thought this was gonna be a nice, sweet little message. Be like, I hope you have a good Friday too.
Is it the
Von
Jews?
Felsenbrot.
Is it the
then
Jews?
You ruined it. Then
I'm assuming it's always the Jews.
It. Fun. Maybe if I want to be, now I want to be a little bit mean, right? Because I say $25 reduce, I just go based off whatever the whatever the color on YouTube is if it's a foreign currency. Because I'm not gonna do that. But since that is a pound, and I know the pound is weaker than the dollar, I want to be mean and be like, what's the conversion rate from pounds to dollars? So I can make that 25 to be like what, $20 instead. I don't know what the current conversion actually, just to make it weaker. Just because. But I won't do that because you're lucky that I'm fucking lazy. I think it's last than tapping here for the 500 warp tokens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not do what this guy does. I would be doing things to these people that you're not allowed to say. And it told me to leave us. I definitely yeah, I'm not surprised, Halcyon. I don't at all. I am definitely not surprised. And the thing is, I can't even blame you because this is infuriating. I don't know why I keep on doing this to myself because it just makes me upsetty. Heaven forbid, like one, okay. So in the far future, I want to stream while pregnant and have a kid. Obviously, my streaming schedule will probably be a little bit wonky and different than when that happens. But, because it's a when, not an if, damn it. But I'm kind of wondering, because, like, I'd like to do a lot of research on how to, like, raise a kid and what the best thing to do for them. I like to save little things about that. And one of the important things about stress levels, and I really shouldn't go on this tangent right now because of time restraints, but I'm going to anyways because I already started. I'm not sure if I can do exactly the same content. Or at least this is much to extent for with it. Because if I do actually stream while pregnant, but I don't think it's gonna be healthy for the baby. I do not think but it's gonna be good for the baby at all. When are you having Elon's child? Never. God, oh my god. I'm gonna be, let's say in 5 years I'm pregnant and streaming, and people are gonna be like, is the father of fucking Elon? No! I thank you, Khalif Knight, for the $2 reduce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We know the cop is a juice box because you're attracted. Fuck you! I'm sorry they're white passing enough to be attractive. Thank you, Serathis, for the $5 dues on whatever your foreign currency is. Amal, you might like the dark fantasy story my friend wrote. Fae Fire on Royal Road by Lumen Moon. Violence, body horror, mutilation, but no lewds. That doesn't seem like my story. I'm not into body horror and mutilation. That's not me. That's something for Lum Lum. Okay, I just like rape. Okay? And I don't like a shit ton of, like, okay, I'm not gonna say I don't like blood or anything like that or gore, because, like, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. It doesn't, like, make me queasy, but it's not what I prefer. Just give me a nice, cheesy, medieval fantasy setting with rape, and I'm happy. And then thank you, Revenant, for the $10 videos, or Reverend Norse. I'm not sure why I said Revenant. Okay, no. It's because your name was cut off, because I don't have the YouTube chat wide enough. My apologies, Reverend Norse! Sorry for the non-sequitur, but super chatted Arch about streaming session 0. Don't think y'all will convince him to do so. He said he wants to make it a serious dark move at the start. Well, god damn it. Well, thank you for trying. I'm not surprised. He's stubborn. If he says no, he says no. But the thought that counts. The thought that counts. I thank you, LJ Saga, for the $20 dose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's no laws against baking character-shaped cookies and cakes. That is very true. Well, maybe I need to learn how to do that. Maybe that can reduce my stress levels for whenever I get pregnant in, like, 5 years. I thank you, LJ Saga, for the $10 dues. Have you had to choose between sports ball and Christianity or anime nationalism? Which would you choose? Anime and nationalism? But what can I say? I'm a Reddit atheist, and I'm a Reddit atheist, and I don't like sports ball. I understand Christianity is good, and I am definitely a cultural Christian, and I do advocate for it, and I want to support it. But nationalism is my end goal. Ethno-nationalism specifically, and I like anime, so therefore, I'll choose the anime and nationalism. I hope sooner than that. Me too. But it all depends on what God has in store for me. I thank you, Xenodemon, for the $5 reduce. Welfare's a slippery slope, and no one ever asks where it stops. Agreed. Absolutely fucking agreed. But I am anti-welfare personally myself. And thank you, Von Felsen Brought, for the $5 reduce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, don't do the currency conversions. They'll be terrible and 100% work in your favor other than mine. This goes to the funny fun as well. Once again, you're fucking lucky that I'm lazy. But maybe when I don't have time restraint, right, on me, and I don't have another fucking 45 minutes to get through a goddamn video here in a half an hour. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get through all this video here. I knew it was a gamble trying to watch this video today for an early Friday short stream like normal, but it's a risk I was willing to take. But anyways, maybe I'll wait until I have more time and you donate a higher dollar amount, and then I'll be extra mean and only do it then to make, let's say, like $100 to be like 75 instead, just because. La 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 la. Suck my cock. Bah. Anyways.
Jackson, New Jersey.
And what are we in front of right now?
We're in front of the former Sylvia Rosenauer School. The school was unfortunately shut down due to budget issues in Jackson. It was purchased by a private school.
Okay, so this is a private Jewish-only school right now?
Yes. As the state cuts our funding, we continue spending more and more public money on private schools, and it's kind of creating the perfect storm that's destroying our public education system.
So all of the school systems are completely strained by the influence of the Jewish non-students. They don't even use the public school system, but yet it costs the public school system a lot of money.
As we Orthodox Jews, we pay the full school taxes to support the public schools and for busing. And the only thing that we get to use is busing.
You take Jackson Township, their pass-through budget was nothing in like 2017. What pass-through laws are, the federal state laws where it says that the school system has to pay for the busing of private school students. The more people that moved into Jackson, they go to school in Lakewood. So no, Jackson has to bus their kids to Lakewood. Now they don't bus non-Jewish students. They have segregated busing. So you have girls bus, boys bus. It costs the towns millions and millions of dollars, while at the same time, it decreases the enrollment that they have. So when the enrollment decreases...
Thing is, I dislike public schools with a burning fucking passion. Like, I absolutely hate them. And I'm actually down for segregation between men and women, but I dislike women. And I don't actually support a lot of co-ed stuff. But when the average American taxpayer is paying for this stuff, for the religious bullshit, and they're acting entitled and dismissive within the process, and they're expanding their reach and under defunding a lot of other programs supposed to go to the actual taxpayer dollars, and abusing other systems as well. Listen, no, get the fuck out of here. Go back to Israel.
Couple that with a really shit school funding formula in New Jersey, the towns spend way more money and they get way less in return.
And now, in a modern day and time, who thinks it's okay to separate boys and girls? Not allowing them to be together, not allowing them to go to school together, be on the same bus. And because of a religious practice, you're forcing the public to pay extra.
Who thinks it's a good idea to segregate boys and girls in the modern age? Oh, I totally didn't just say that. I know just one of them. Also, you know what I realized that exists? Double speed. You know what I told myself last night that I should do for this video? Double speed. You know what I didn't do to start the video? Double speed. You know what I'm gonna do right now, even if it was a little bit jarring? Double speed. Well, probably not double speed. We'll probably make it like 1.5. Because personally, I don't like actually increasing playback speed because it always feels weird and like the word. Why am I blanking on the word? Like it just I can't think of it for some stupid reason. It just always seems weird.
money for things like that.
We have to send our children to religious schools because of the values that are taught in the secular schools. If our population changes, schools consolidate. We're not the first place that that's happened, nor the last place.
The Jewish community is extremely racist. Could you imagine if I said that my children...
I mean, I agree with him. I hate what public schools are being taught as well. But you're abusing the system here.
could not play with somebody's children because they were black? What a different conversation we would be having. Why is it okay?
We only eat kosher food. If our kids play in a non-religious Jew's home, they might be given non-kosher food to eat. Also, we generally don't have televisions in our home and don't want to bring the secular values of homosexuality, of adultery, theft, of cursing, and go on and on. We don't want to bring this into our society.
And honestly, I actually support all of that because that sounds all based to me because that aligns with my values too. So I don't blame them for it. But I believe bring those values back because they were part of Christianity, part of American culture, because we're Americans, or actual real Americans again, not Jews when they have Israel and they can do all this stuff here.
Orthodox Jews are paying full property tax, which is how the schools are funded, and we don't get the benefit of the school building, the school teachers. So we have to also pay for our private education. So they're getting our money and we're getting nothing for it.
Your funding's going to go down. You're going to have to make cuts. You're going to have to keep closing schools. They just shut down another big school, which is going to be converted into, might be one of the world's largest yeshivas right here in town. Let's be real. New Jersey State is essentially a criminal organization because everything they do is for some type of special interest, for somebody to benefit somehow.
They take a house, they get that house built for a public mikvah only for Jewish people, right? So they say it's for the public, but it's not. It's just for a select private group of people. The house is now a 501c religious organization, so it doesn't pay taxes, so the town loses the tax money. Yep. And then, like in this case, that mikvah was being built before it was even approved, so everyone sees that.
This is going to be a mikvah, which is a religious bathhouse.
Where women get purified.
Correct.
After their periods?
Yes, and it prepares them for their childbearing time.
Sex.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's little things like this when they get in an area, they put what they need, their special needs. It doesn't benefit the community, anything that they put. It benefits only them.
So this is a house of worship, a shul. This has been...
And that Jewish guy they're interviewing there is like, well, we pay all these taxes and we get no benefit to it whatsoever. Yeah, no, first up, everything else is pointing towards you're lying. Very blatantly so.
Operating now probably for about 6 or 7 years. This is one of the ones that we first realized was non-owner occupied. Now,
meaning
that you have a better chance of not having issues if you live in the home and you have prayer. But nobody was living in this home. Okay. Generally you should have to get the proper permits and everything. But our town has been very accommodating for bad behavior. As you could see, they did install a light for them here, so they could safely pull in and out and cross the street.
And that's a symptom of the increased traffic into this location, right? A light just for this house.
Correct. This is zone residential.
As I told you, we have to be together for schools, for synagogues, for kosher food. So you're gonna start buying the next block over. That happens to be Jackson and Tom's River. Now it's going into Howell because we're having lots of children, and thank God we're having lots of children. Thank God almost all of them stay religious, get married early, and they're having children, and the community is just growing and growing. So in Jackson, they passed regulations against Orthodox Jews, and not only that, they were harassing us. Let me give you an example. We pray 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So Jackson, they were very unprofessional, very amateurish. So they had their code enforcement department counting the number of Jews on the street, and they left the emails on their Jackson Township email system. So when litigation ensued, it came out in discovery. So they say, I see 3 men wearing the garb, carrying Bibles, going into this house. And the inspectors would actually go onto the property and peer into the window to see if we were praying.
Okay, so the house was zoned residentially, and it is being used as a house of worship?
No, but you could just go in there. The guy owns the house. You can just go in there and pray. We do it all the time. Just like, when I have the Super Bowl here, I have 50 people here.
That's using it as a place of worship, though. Like I said earlier in the video, I wasn't completely against it because as he's bringing up the Super Bowl here, it's like a party, it's like an event. But there is a time and a place. There is a point where it's not simply just an event, a party. You're actually legitimately using it within a specific way, legally. In this case, a place of worship. And so therefore you're breaking the law and you're causing huge detriments upon the community there because of this. So you're like they're doing all these like legally gray things and bending the law in their favor, and he's justifying this in every way, shape, or form. And it's only for the benefit of Jews, not the actual real Americans. Because I'd be a lot more okay with this if it's actual real Americans. I want real Americans to have the private schools, you know, and the busing. They and the segregation, blocking homosexuality, having the fucking 10 kids, right? But that's impossible to enforce when you have foreigners coming in, building up their own ethnic enclaves, and defrauding the community by literally stealing the tax dollars and allowing all this to run rampant like this. Like, it's rules for me, but not for thee. Like, Jesus Christ.
In contrast to the Super Bowl, how often does this congregation happen per year? Is it every week?
Oh no, we pray 3 times a day. No,
3 times a day versus once a year, though, right? That's an important distinction.
Oh, I'm just saying, but every week they get during football season, they get people over watching football, and they get 30 people in the house watching football, right? Anybody in America can do that, and they're not cited for a violation.
You don't think they would have been treated the same if it were a mosque or a church?
There are Christian groups, and they were not harassed like we were.
So you guys were singled out, in your opinion?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
What happened in Jackson? What anti-Semitic laws is he referring to in his opinion?
So it's everybody is reacting in their own way, zoning law-wise, to try to fight what they do. And what that is like buying corner lots that are unbuildable, using our LRLUPA laws to build on them. So what happened was there was a little bit of a rush to stop Lakewood. I would say about 2010-ish, where you saw different towns making different zoning laws. Brick did its own little thing, tightened up zoning laws in certain areas, and they did it in a way where it wasn't pointing out one religion. Jackson kind of did it in a way where they did point out one religion. But
what does that mean?
So it's like, they tried stopping the shoals in the middle of the houses, but what they did was they worded it and they said things as they were doing. Like the people on the boards were saying stupid shit during the discussion that were anti-Semitic, basically to give them fuel to come in and say, "You guys are making anti-Semitic laws." Okay, it wasn't necessarily what they were trying to do; it was how they were trying to do it. Now the council president up there, Mordecai Bernstein, who was a part of it, you have that guy Richie Roberts. They got the DOJ to do an investigation. They sued under our LRLUPA, and they had the DOJ do an investigation into them. They hammered Jackson. So now it's like Jackson is castrated and cannot even fight it anymore because they got told by the federal government and the state government they get to do whatever the hell they want. So now that's why you're seeing the synagogues going up in single family or multiple family big houses, $800,000, $900,000 houses. We lost the law.
See, this is the reason why optics and Fed posting it's important to keep in mind, because obviously the city council of Jackson were Fed posting, but because they didn't have good optics and they were too blatant with what they were trying to prevent, that was used against them. Like, there's a time and a place for people to be brutally honest and not have a filter. And yes, I'm kind of justifying myself in that case. But when you're actively working with a legal framework, with anything that you're actually trying to change, when it comes to normies and also the law, you have to be extremely careful of how you handle that. Or else, well, this will happen to you. Like, people like the Jackson woman in the video, who's very, very blatant about how much she dislikes them and all the problems they cause and how strong of an advocate she is important. Like, people who are brutally honest and talking about these issues directly are the ones pushing things forward. But it's those in the back that hide their intentions better and neutralize and neuter their words and actions to be more chameleon-like are the ones that actually get things done in the end, because the people like her are the ones fighting in the front lines, and are the easy targets, while those in the back are actually doing the work. And it's a shame that Jackson didn't exactly deploy the right strategy when it comes to that, because now, well, like the guy said, he's castrated, and the Jews are literally flooding the area and making it worse.
Lawsuit on this property that was too small of a property, unbuildable lot. The people that came out to that meeting made this type of comment. This was deemed anti-Semitic. This is a family neighborhood. We like to keep it a family neighborhood. Anti-Semitic. This is what the judge, quote, cited as anti-Semitic. Are you going to be renting this house or are you going to be living in it? Anti-Semitic. What type of family would want to live on this type of lot? Anti-Semitic. That's how petty it gets.
Beginning 10 years ago, they called you an anti-Semite for outlining all of these points. Were you wrong?
I was right. There are plenty of county roads in Jackson. Nobody's saying that you cannot put your house of worship on those county roads, where you could put a proper parking lot and you could have proper traffic. So why are we dealing with houses of worship within walking distance that could be on main roads? Air roofs are up. Why instead are we putting them smack in the middle of residential areas, because it's another way to get people out of there. It's another way to create a complete religious enclave.
And this all begs the question, does the Jewish community living in peace come at a direct cost of the non-Jews also trying to live in peace? Can the two groups get along? I toured a mostly all-Jew neighborhood in Lakewood to understand Jennifer's frustration a bit more and what she sees as Jackson's seemingly unavoidable future. Where are we at, Jenna?
We are in Westgate, aka Kosher West, aka the Little Tykes Graveyard.
I'm noticing lots of toys on the lawn, car seat that may not be getting used, tons of minivans, many children, many families, full trash cans, abandoned vehicles, a lot going on here.
Correct. This is on the border of Jackson. And unfortunately, I see this as being Jackson's future if we don't get a hold of things.
Let's go for a walk. How large are the families out here?
Again, you know, anywhere from 6 to 12 children.
This is all Orthodox Jews for the most part?
This is predominantly probably 99.9% religious.
Could I buy a home here?
I don't believe you could.
Obviously, legally, according to the Fair Housing Act, it's illegal for them to discriminate against me, but practically speaking, could I buy a home?
No.
Okay.
This community is allowed to police themselves. You know, they're allowed to do what they want to do. Rules don't apply. Yeah, the trash cans. We have a problem now in Jackson with rats, which we've never had before. It's definitely a concern. It's a complete religious enclave, yes.
And this bus right here is paid for by a Lakewood taxpayer, correct?
Correct.
We're walking. We're trying to walk. You got to... Yes. Call the cops.
Here, it's strictly about religion, nothing else. All these men going to yeshiva until they're 35 years old, they're not producing college students. They're not producing people that are going to go and benefit the greater good of our society.
It's sort of an investment in a insulated, one-way economy.
Correct, without anybody contributing.
How are you? We're filming a little documentary.
Sorry, the schnoz on the lady caught my attention. I'm trying to not commentate too much to get through the video. But I saw the schnoz in this thing. That hook was stronger than a goddamn witcher's.
We're filming a little documentary.
Oh, where is she at? Come on. I just had to look at it again. Look at that thing! Oh, Jesus. If I were to accurately draw her with that, I would probably lose my Twitter account and get locked again for anti-Semitism. Oh my god, okay. Fuck. Oy vey.
Where are you? We're filming a little documentary. Yeah, for YouTube. Would you like to say hi?
I actually recognize your face.
I'm infamous. That's me. Yes. It's good to meet you. How are you?
I actually can't take hands.
I see.
I'm sorry.
No worries. It's good to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just walking around talking.
Cool. Well, I hope it's interesting.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Like, not everybody's the same.
This is true. I'm noticing a strong spectrum here of even orthodoxy, right?
Yeah. Even within the orthodoxy.
So I gotta say, very refreshing. Sweet woman.
Yeah.
Said hi. Good luck.
You know, that's the funny thing.
Nice,
that's the funny thing about it. I mean, a lot of the women are very nice and very welcoming.
Yeah.
And you know, you can have a conversation with them, but at the end of the day, they can't be your friend.
No parking. Look at that.
They don't want to live amongst us. They don't want to live with us. They just want to live and exist and not have us be part of their lives. I mean, we've had people stand up at our council meeting in Jackson and say, I'm sorry, we cannot let our children play with your children.
For the Orthodox community, the reason that we choose sometimes to live with ourselves is because we are, as a culture, very careful with the influences our children have. My children they don't have any access to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, any of these things. And part of that safety is that after school, all of us as neighbors share those same values and rules and restrictions.
It's about unity. It's about assimilation.
And honestly, when I have my own kids, because it's a when, not an if, I will do the same thing because those are my values too. But if you are building an enclave, especially such a strong religious one, and you're not assimilating, you're not integrating, you're not allowing anything, and you're actively ruining the community by leeching off the tax dollars and building things that doesn't benefit the original community that was there, you are a foreigner. You are literally an invader. Even if I actually agree with their conservative values, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are actual little foreign invaders that are making things worse.
about, the American culture, and that's what we're losing.
Can the Jews and the Gentiles get along?
Absolutely. We don't
You're
have
calling
I don't
for
think
unity.
so. Absolutely. I also understand that this is their way of thinking, this is how they were trained, this is how they were brought up.
We're happy for them to stay. We don't push them out. We had a neighbor Wheeler right across
Oh,
the street over one
bullshit.
house. We were sorry to see them go. Is it bad that you have a house that's worth $300,000 and someone says, I really want to live in this neighborhood, I'll give you $600,000 for it?
I think it's great if you're trying to sell your house.
Okay, and if he doesn't have to. Like this woman, she didn't have to sell her house.
Yeah, I think there's an argument in some instances of people who have claimed that they've been pressured, harassed, or intimidated to sell their house.
So it's not intimidation. It only could be that too many people are knocking on their door asking, do you want to sell your house?
Okay, so there's blockbusting. That's when they approach you to sell your house, which is a level of harassment. There's intimidation, telling you that, your decorations are not Yiddish, or approaching you and asking you, when are you moving? You could have a child who's 4 or 5 years old, being your neighbor, and you could be very nice to that child, and one day they will just come out and say to you, when are you leaving? Well, that's learned behavior. They're hearing that, right?
There's rows of housing. You saw it yesterday. 4, 5, 6 cars per place. Tight, super tight houses.
The few people that I've spoken to, a lot of it stems from fear and their loss of their way of life, right? I don't think it stems from hatred, from what I've heard.
So some hate it and some fear to change in their in their neighborhood. These people are moving in that don't look like them, that seem different, and I can understand it. But there are laws about discrimination, and people bought homes legally because the non-Jews that live there made a lot of money off the Jews in selling the home.
Well, look at, Little Italy, and look at Chinatown and New York, and how come it was okay for them to live amongst themselves? The key there is assimilation. Their children went to public schools. They worked in the public sector. They invited anybody who wanted to come into their community. They provided for them in their community.
Okay, listen, this one has been pretty base so far, but I'm gonna have to disagree. They clearly weren't inviting anyone. They might have enjoyed a little bit of tourism, because Chinatown is actually a huge tourist sector at this point. But there's still everything in their foreign language. The signs, how they speak, the street stalls, and how they handle things, their religion, their schools are filled with their Chinese. I can guarantee that if a white person moved into Chinatown, they would be discriminated against passively, just like the Jews are doing the exact same way. Italians, probably as well, just because everyone's tribal and they're definitely a little bit more darker than the other Europeans. So I expected the same thing, because not to mention, even though I am very biased for actual Europeans, because they are our ancestors, we had problems with the Germans. I've been reading the biography of President Grant, and it was there was a section of it where he was complaining about the new German immigrants down south. I forget which state. I think it was in Missouri. Don't take that with a grain of salt. That was pretty early on in the book, and at this point, and he was very unhappy with how they were moving in and changing things there, and because the Germans are not American. And Americans are British descent, and even now to this day, we're different from the British. Like we were talking about the very beginning of the stream with the word quango, and how people are misunderstanding that they represent browns and immigrants when it literally has nothing to do with browns and immigrants. It's literally a quasi NGO, in that case. So, like, this is where her womanism comes in, and her previous, indoctrination propaganda has kicked in, where she thinks everyone else is okay, but, it's just now that she's living with the Jewish problem, I should rephrase that, now that she's living with a specific ethnic group, she's seeing the problems with this specific ethnic group, but she's not seeing the rest of them because she's not living with them. But she doesn't have, she either doesn't want to admit it to, made it in an interview, which, I don't know, she seems pretty genuine, so it seems like she's actually genuine in this belief. But she doesn't want to admit it to herself, or she doesn't realize this, or she can't connect the dots that they're literally all the same. Everyone in the whole entire world, except for white Europeans and white descendants, can have their own groups, their own language, their own cultures, foods, schools, everything else in between. But as soon as white people want to have their own communities for their own culture, their own language, and their own schools, that's racist. That's anti-Semitic. That's whatever is to know we want to throw their way. That's fascist. You're a Nazi for that. And unfortunately, she hasn't reached that bridge just yet. Highly unfortunate, but maybe in time.
Huge difference there. This is not a welcoming community. This is not somebody who's saying, we're going to build this show. come on in. We want to teach you a little bit about our religion and our beliefs, but we want to involve you in it. And this has been a topic that I have brought up at several council meetings when there have been times when there's been a project or something that they wanted to approve, and we were trying to kind of, bring it to people's attention that this project is not going to benefit the community as a greater good. The Jewish community is extremely racist, and I would go as far to say as the Jackson government should be ashamed of themselves.
Beautiful traffic in Underground. What?
Welcome.
Was that a strategic honk?
I think so.
I'm not sure what the strategy there was. Who's he honking at now? Gotta say hi. Hello. All right, so you're just honking. I'm not sure what the strategy is. How are you? I came down and waved and said hi. We're gonna see how long he's just gonna remain honking. How are you doing? He's gonna break his horn. This guy does have a cheeky sense of humor, which I can appreciate. That honk was promised to him.
3,000 years ago.
I think I'm gonna sue. His kids in there is doing that? What? Man, I think this guy actually might be immensely challenged, so we're gonna give him a break. So listen, we can talk all the niceties we want. There is hostility.
Oh yeah, but you know what? That's not gonna happen walking down our streets.
But as we were trying to escape and rest our ears from the Jews honking at us from all directions, I spotted these dudes tracking us. Turns out I had summoned the Shomrim Police, the Jewish community's internal police force that receives both federal funding and township funding.
You guys want to be interviewed?
No.
Okay, respect. Are we in the heart of Lakewood right now?
What are you known for?
Just curious. All right, he's pushing it. What's up? You want to do an interview? Okay.
I don't think it was nice how you portrayed the Jewish people. And
what are we talking about? What's the context, real quick?
What's the context?
Are we talking about Curious Joel?
Yes. I just don't think it was you were trying to portray. I think you just came in with more of what you had a picture in your head.
What do you think I got wrong? What do you think was misrepresented? Like, I'm just trying to learn. What do you actually think I got wrong about it?
I just think there was agenda.
You gotta elaborate a little bit, though.
What was the front of the YouTube page posted as? What was the
inside the New York town invaded by welfare addicted Jews?
Thank you. You answered the question.
Was I wrong though?
I actually think it's not true, but again, you'd say whatever you want. It's not welfare addicted. This is what it is.
Welfare reliance, welfare dependent. What would be a better?
Programs don't have it.
All right. What are you arguing? That I have an obligation?
That's very similar to the person in the beginning of the video when they're in the parking lot at the grocery store too. They can't really think of anything else because they just keep on using the line anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. And so I'll just keep on pointing back out. If they're going to keep on using the same excuse here, the same one-liners of anti-Semitism, then I'm just gonna be like, then go back to Israel. If this place is so anti-Semitic and evil and bigoted and biased and Nazi and fascist and whatever the fuck you want to call it, then go back to Israel. I can throw the same thing back at them.
As a taxpayer to fund you and how many kids you want to have. If you want to have 30 kids, that's just how it is.
I'm arguing that if the law is set up to have certain criteria for people and it's according to children, then people who qualify for it, legally qualify for it,
100%.
with no fraud at all, are entitled to get it.
And you'll give me the credit of acknowledging I never said that was fraudulent.
Yes, that's right.
I think it's exploitative by nature, though. Yeah, why don't you throw all your money at them and help sustain their lifestyle? Why do I have to take a cut of my paycheck to go towards Curious Joel's insulated Hasidic Jewish community that has nothing to do with me? I'll never get anything out of. There's zero upside for them to exist for me.
Anyways, we have the government makes criteria for getting financial aid. And if someone qualifies for that criteria, I'm not sure why when the Jew does it, you're calling it exploitive or taking advantage, but you don't say that to all the other people and populaces that don't have it.
Well, I've never seen anything of this scale to where the families are this large and it's sort of baked into their strategy of child raising.
So are you against having children, having a lot of children?
I'm pro-children. That's great. I think you should be able to afford it. And I want to make an important distinction between the Amish, let's say, and the Hasidic Jews and Curious Joel. You tell me what's the difference.
Oh, there's tons of differences.
Tons of differences. Most importantly, as it relates to finance, though, the Amish pay for themselves. They're self-sustaining. They're not reliant on welfare programs funded by the taxpayer.
I think I heard in a video there's, 40,000 people in Curious Joel? 44,000. And you spoke to 20 people around on the street.
Sure, perhaps.
Okay, hold up. One, I'm glad he pointed out the Amish, because I like the Amish a lot. The Amish might not like me. I'm not exactly sure how they don't really seem like they hate outsiders like the Jews do. But but there's a part of me that really wants to just, join the Amish. I want to see if I can convert, because their lifestyle is like my dream. I know it's not going to be easy. It's a lot of manual labor there, but I'd rather have manual labor, taking care of horses, learning how to sew, and how to make my own dresses and, making my own bread and butter and no technology and living in an enclosed community like that and be self-sustainable than in the modern world. And they're respectful for the most part. I mean, yeah, the horse and buggy is annoying, but I mean, they don't really go out of their way and cause problems. They just stay within themselves. The Jews are ever expanding and making the lives of the actual community worse. And they've also and the Amish have been here for ages. I know there were Jews for a long time in America too, but there's clearly a very big difference for how they're actually handling everything. So I'm glad he actually brought them up because it's literally night and day, there. They mentioned just something else right there before I paused. And I was going to say something about it, and I've already forgotten at this point. Hold on, let me back this up.
People in Curious Joel, 44,000, and you spoke to
like 20 people. Yeah. So here's this thing. It's called recording, and even though he might have only spoke to a handful of people, the video shows the nasty looks that the Jews are giving him. The video shows the other Jews recording him. The video shows all the fucking car honking that's happening incessantly. The video shows the traffic congestion, the trash on the streets, everything else they have to deal with. Not to mention, there's all the articles that he's popping up as proof for what these people that are actually real, Jackson residents that are not foreign invaders have to deal with and have been dealing with for many years. So, your argument's invalid. He's trying to be like that he's cherry picking, but he's really not. He's just walking around and people come up to him and yell at him or do these shitty interviews where like, wow, what you said was anti-Semitic. Well, what did I say was anti-Semitic? They're welfare addicted. Okay, how's that anti-Semitic? Nope, my point's proven. No, moving on. Do that 5 times over. That's pretty big pool of reflection for what the community is like overall. It might be hashtag not all, but it's a large majority that's clearly changing how things work, and they're assholes. So I think I'm playing on the safe side and be like, yeah, no, not worth the risk.
20 people are out on the street.
Sure, perhaps an insufficient sample size.
And who obviously are not the ones working, because if they're working, they wouldn't have been on the street, they'd be working.
Sure, but it belies a pretty interesting question, right? How do they afford to raise such large families? How do they afford to study full-time?
First, I have to bifurcate your question. Okay. There's 2 groups. One is the ones who are learning full-time, and the others are the ones that are working. For Hasidim, almost all of them go out to work. However, when they first get married, for the first 2 or 3 years, they'll learn Torah full-time. The wife will work. They don't have any children yet. Maybe they have 1 kid or 2 children. And then they'll get help from their family. And if their income qualifies, which it probably does, for financial aid, they'll get financial aid.
Okay, we got this guy following us. We're playing games now. We got the security van rolling on us as we roll on them. We got 1, 2, 3 police. Surely there's no conflict of interest we're about to experience. I wonder what law they're going to claim I violated. How you doing? My name's Tyler. How are you? Josh, man. Good to meet you, Josh. What's going on? I don't know. We're just getting stocked.
Is he also a Jew?
Low key, yeah. You look familiar, though. My name's Tyler Oliveira. We're filming a little YouTube video. That's me, yeah. Okay. So what are you filming out here? Documentary on Lakewood, surrounding towns. Am I being detained? Is there a probable cause for this interaction? What's going on?
We just got a concern saying that you're walking up to people asking them questions, stuff like that.
Luckily, this is America, and that is the First Amendment, right? It's beautiful, and I get you're doing your job.
Call us, you gotta come out here, right? See what you guys doing, like a documentary?
Exactly, just a little documentary. Right now. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys want to say what's up?
What's up?
Okay, well, it's good to meet you guys. I know you guys got more important things to do, but good to meet you guys. Good to meet you. Thanks for keeping everyone safe. Thank you.
I'm part of Lake Patrolman, which is
public
safety.
Yeah.
And we got multiple calls. Same reason like BD got calls.
Okay.
So that's it. We're just gonna follow you around. We're gonna let everybody know that they don't have to talk to you.
With the Shamroon police on our back, it felt like we were being policed by a secondary form of law enforcement.
So the Lakewood police got called, and they were like, okay, there's really not that big of a deal going on here. Though it does look like that one copper was a Jew. It was a shame because he was actually a Shaw. Why am I chat? Is this also how, like, I'm always worried about my nose a little bit. Is it? but because I'm also attracted to Jews, is that like another sign that I'm Jewish? Okay, anyway, but besides the fact that I apparently have kosher fever here, The fact that the Lakewood police got called, as well as this Shomrim private police, is just insane. And the regular police just walked away because like, there's no big deal here. And those are the ones I'm gonna respect because they're actually gonna follow the rule of law. Not this private police are just like, yeah, we're gonna follow you just because, just because. No race mixing. Listen, half of you guys are rice burners, okay? Like, I constantly hear you guys talking about how Asian women are hot and everything like that. Listen, let me have. How did I do this? I'm not sure what I pressed. I was just kind of fidgeting around. Let me have the benefits of 10 kids and richness and being part of the tribe. Okay, is that such a crime?
And the interest of the Jewish community. Speaking of double standards, let's talk about politics.
I firmly believe that the tactics within this community, I would liken it to organized crime. We have an ultra-Orthodox person as our council president. You know, you can't think that there's not going to be things happening and rules and laws created to make his community stronger and better.
When do you eventually become involved in Jackson politics, let's say? You live in Lakewood, you don't even live in Jackson. Why do you even get involved?
What happened was this active discrimination against the Orthodox Jews in Jackson was going on for about a year. And I had people calling me from Jackson with like anonymous numbers, Orthodox Jews, because they were afraid for their safety. We're generally not violent people. If we have to defend ourselves, we will. And I think a substantial number of people in Lakewood now own guns.
Why?
Why?
They became fearful?
Oh, yes, because of the rise of anti-Semitism and the attacks on Jews. After about a year of them calling me, I really couldn't take it anymore. They're suffering.
Why did you topple the government?
I told you
why.
How
did you do it with ease?
Oh, it was not with ease. It was a tremendous amount of work. Agent in Manhattan, trying to get stories out to the press. And then I met with this political group, like I said, who ran senatorial campaigns. We got the cell phone numbers of all the people in Jackson, and we planned to text. We started a website called FamiliesForJacksonJustice.org. By the way, I've since abandoned the website. Anti-Semites took it over. It's like when the Republican Club, which was vehemently anti-Semitic and run by the mayor of Jackson, had a U.S. Senate candidate, Republican candidate, there for their meeting, I had spies inside the organization, non-Jews, who were telling me what was going on. So the Republican Club, they had their senatorial candidate about to speak. We then texted to everyone in Jackson 5 minutes before he spoke, here's this new
I like how it's Republicans too that were like the conservatives, right? That the same people in this day that keep on advocating for white Americans not to be replaced. I'm saying Republicans very loosely, conservatives very loosely. Obviously, there's plenty of them are rhinos or those that are too normie, have their heads stuck in the sand and not know about this stuff. But it was not the people who were advocating and trying to prevent it being overrun by this ethnic enclave, or the Republicans, not the Democrats in this case. I just want to point that out there. I don't like Republicans either, but it is quite telling, in my opinion, the differences there, and the fact they had to literally have spies on the inside. And he's quite proud about toppling the government. He said, "Well, it's not that easy. It was actually quite difficult." But he didn't disagree that he actually toppled the government. He just disagreed about how easy it was. This guy is such a fucking snake. Like, I can't exactly call him a rat, or else I'll be called anti-Semitic for that. Which, you know, I mean, basically, he's got a pretty big bulbous nose at the end. Rat would be quite fitting too. But he's just, he honestly, I'll give him credit. He is slithering through this interview with ease. Like he is answering all these questions, even though it's pretty easy to kind of poke holes in what he's saying. For the average person, everything he's saying sounds perfectly fine into the board. Well, of course, well, we're not doing any fraud at all. We're paying all these taxes, and the only thing we get benefit is the school buses. Okay, so the means are there for some families to get welfare just because it's what is legally the case, and sure, that's perfectly fine and normal. Like, he's doing a decent job using the liberal arguments as best as possible. Also doesn't help that Tyler Oliveira is not being hostile, which is a good thing, because how you're able to get this interview in the first place, which is telling in its own right. But if he was a little bit more direct with some things, that would be funny to watch.
website exposing the religious discrimination. I had it populated with all kinds of information, statements. The mayor of Jackson had been voice recorded, not by me, but it was sent to me, where he was asked by the chairman of the Ocean County Republican Party if these were churches, would we be opposing them? He said absolutely not. It was discrimination against Jews. They were going crazy with all the things I was doing, putting pressure on them. There was fighting going on among the elected political people. Resignations had started, and then I put out the ad on Fox News.
New developments in that deadly attack in New Jersey. Surveillance video shows they clearly targeted that Jewish market.
There's a synagogue located next door.
There's no question that this is a hate crime.
Anti-Semitism is on the rise, and now it's coming from Jackson Township's government. Elected officials in Jackson have passed ordinances targeting Orthodox Jewish families. Exposed township emails show officials surveilling religious Jewish families, praying in their homes. They even took revenge on a decorated veteran who testified against their anti-Semitism. Jackson officials are intimidating Jewish families, and they admit it.
If these were churches, would we be fighting? Absolutely not.
Shameful. This isn't America.
It's put on the cable network provider.
Okay, he might be a snake, but he was really fucking retarded snake right there, talking about his political campaign ad that he put up proudly himself, and how he framed all of that stuff. Actually, everything he's describing is actually quite telling in general, because this is how they all work. The ones that are in high places, like this guy, which statistically, per capita, there's an awfully large amount of tiny hats and high places that have powers and influence and capabilities to make things like this happen. He's just one of these examples that are doing this in Jackson, and he had 2 calls with the White House and has some context there. Imagine how many other men like him are in other local communities that have Orthodox Jews in him, and them. Sorry, not in him. They don't like homosexuality after all. And then at a more on a grand scale too, like on states, and then the federal level, etc. And but all politicians do this, Amalgamyte. You're still being anti-Semitic. Well, I literally just brought up per capita here, because it's an oddly high number, and they're really pushing the anti-Semitism angle across the board because they're losing favor fast, both on the left and the right, to do these kinds of things. It's just pure malicious. They're trying to paint themselves as victims. Like, fucking, that they're women. They're spiritually women. Constantly just painting themselves as victims in this case, when actively destroying people's lives. Whether that be by making residential homes into synagogues and ruining the streets and pushing people out and then gobbling up their homes, or a guy like this with contacts in high places that can post campaign ads that slander and mislabel these different parts of the government officials for being anti-Semitic for what they're trying to do to protect the actual community themselves.
For that area. In the meantime, I had 2 different calls with the White House. I know you want to ask me 1,000 questions. I will answer nothing more than that.
Okay,
Sorry.
why?
Because.
And to be fair, yeah, the mayor's statement seems pretty damning, right? Him saying, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah, right. And you heard that on the
Well, the thing is, and he shouldn't have said that because that was retarded of him to say that, because God knows who he was being interviewed with. But it's also true, because there's not Christians coming in and making residential houses in the churches and then cluttering up the streets and then pushing people out by asking when they're going to be moving and littering and doing all these different things, and then coming in and buying a $300,000 house for $600,000, which is literally the reference early in the video. Christians aren't doing that. The ones with the churches, they have the churches that they're places of worship, legal and law. They have a parking lot there. They park the car. They walk into the church. They go, sing their sermons for an hour. They go downstairs to get donuts in the basement and orange juice, and then they go home. Like, they keep to themselves. There's a very strong difference between churches and synagogues in this case. And I'm sure Mr. Tiny Snake Hat here would clearly point out there's a difference between synagogues and mosques, for example. Tyler Oliveira already brought up the Muslim question earlier, and how you feel Jackson became largely Muslim, and he wasn't exactly a fan of that. Of course he wasn't, though I wish Oliveira pushed him a little bit more in it because he was clearly getting uncomfortable there, but he's also trying to be friendly here too. So, yeah. But yeah, the mosque is completely different than the synagogue, and the Muslims how they handle that and how they're pushing people out of Britain's a great example, or Dearborn, Michigan, is also horrible too. But they don't keep it to themselves. They have those massive loudspeakers and bells ringing 5 times a fucking day. And as he brought up, they are a lot more violent as well. But still, like they're still pushing people out. They're still ruining people's lives, and they're still getting involved. Christians don't do that. They don't do that with their churches. There's a clear difference.
Yeah, that's fair.
on the commercial.
Yeah.
By the way,
it seems discriminatory.
By the way, he's one of my best friends now.
Lifelong.
Because here's what happened. More Orthodox Jews kept moving in because of the financial and demographic forces I told you about, and we started to become a larger part of the electorate. And he was coming up for re-election as mayor, and he asked someone if he could come here and apologize to me. And he came here and he said when he signed those resolutions, he knew it was a wrong thing to do. But he said he was under so much pressure from all the political types in Jackson and the people who have constituencies, and they were yelling at me. So he just signed it. And he wants to tell me now that he regrets doing it, and he's going to work to get rid of those regulations. Then that result was the Orthodox Jewish community embraced him. And we supported him. And I became the largest donor to his re-election campaign. It wasn't $1 million.
He becomes an ally to.
So he was bought out. Like, he was shamed, cast out, life absolutely ruined. Everyone hates him now because of the campaign. And then he comes groveling to you, apologizing, and then you buy him out? That is not the win that you think that it is. That makes you sound horrible. Like, you are a horrible person, ruining this man's life to the point where he has got nothing and he's widely hated. He has a crumb crawling to you for forgiveness, and then you literally buy him out and give him life support, and now he's one of your biggest allies. So that's like villain 101 manipulation tactic right there. Stockholm syndrome beyond belief. Like, what the actual fuck? Oh, this reminds me, speaking of the autobiography of reading of President Grant earlier, there is a decent section where, I shouldn't get too into this too much, but while he was down south fighting in the Civil War, they were running out of supplies. Like, the supply zones were very far away, and the Confederates were a huge threat because they were so deep in the South. And so they had to live off the land because they didn't have much in the way of supply chains in that case. And so cotton became basically like gold. And for both but also for the Confederates too, because they're both competing for this and trying to get the merchants to sell them the supply each side. And because of that case, a lot of the merchants were price gouging and scamming and swindling across the board because of how high the cotton was valued. A decent chunk of those merchants were of a certain ethnicity that like to wear tiny hats and wear big schnozzes. And President Grant noticed that and got very, very upsetty about it. And so, since in his department, his section of area that he had control for the Civil War, he had a proclamation that basically kicked out all the Jews in 24 hours. And needless to say, they weren't too happy with him. And they hardcore lobbied all the way up to Lincoln and the federal government. And Lincoln had to shut him down. And he got heavily reprimanded by Lincoln. And then his senior above him. And a whole bunch of other people. And then even his wife, who was actually quite supportive and loving. And very rarely actually spoke her opinion. Even wrote to him talking about how that was really mean of him to do so. And she was disappointed. His son also came out and said that he was disappointed in him too for doing that, and that was a really bad move. And then when Grant had to write his biography at the end of his life to get some money, he left it out of his memoirs, and his son lambasted him for that too, because he was so ashamed of what he did. It was he literally wrote down as one of his greatest mistakes of his life was making that proclamation kicking out all the Jews. Like, and the thing is, this guy wasn't perfect. He had a lot of fuck ups, right? Like, earlier on in his career, he got discharged for being a drunk. and that actually hurt his prospects for during the Civil War. And if it wasn't for him having a friend in a high place himself, he would not have advanced as far as he did, because his drunken allegations were so strong, based off him being dishonorably discharged for being drunk. Earlier year before the Civil War started. But no, not the fact that he got dishonorably discharged for being a drunkard. That's not his biggest regret of his life and caused all those problems for both his family and himself. No, it's the proclamation against the tiny hats. Oh, and I will. Okay, what's the name of the author of his Grant biography? It's just called Grant, and the author is Ron something something. It's really funny how the author actually writes it, because he writes it in a very way that's like Grant should have done this. It was really bad of Grant to do it. You know, it's just really common for anti-Semitism back in the day. All this stuff, and Grant was wrong about the population, and it wasn't all of them. Different things like that. Like, he was just making a bunch of excuses. The paint Grant into a bad light. Well, not completely a bad light, because it is on his side. It's actually quite biased for Grant overall. But it was just like, but the way he was describing everything just proved Grant was actually right. Just like how this Jew that Oliveira is interviewing right now. It's like, no, we don't do all these evil, horrible things. Proceeds to explain how we do these horrible, evil things, just in a liberal light, and so the normies will swallow it up and be perfectly fine. But if you actually think about it for 2 seconds, it's like, no, wait, you're lying. Ron Chernow is the author. An apologist for the juice, I mean, it's a really small section of the book. I think it was like 2 pages long, and I haven't finished it yet. But I mean, he's an apologist in general. Like, he's very, very supportive of Grant, and Grant was, well, for the sake of time, anti-slavery, and actually Grant's a huge reason as to why we have so many social services for the blacks today. And he was praising Grant for that, actually, and I was reading this thing, and this is actually horrible, personally, myself. So, yeah, it's clearly very biased and for Grant's favor, and Grant was a very blinded man. He did a lot of good stuff, but his heart was not. It was a good place, but the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Anyways, we still have like 10 minutes left in this. Oh, 15. Oh, okay. We gotta keep chugging along here.
The Orthodox Jewish community.
He becomes not bigoted against us.
It's the Jewish vote. This is another form of corruption. Imagine if I said, hey, I'm going to give you this amount of money and you do this. Okay, you can't do that. But if I could say, hey, I'm going to deliver you 50,000 votes that are all going to vote for you. So take Jack Shadilay in New Jersey. They were bragging that all of the Vlads got together, all the Jewish Vlads got together, and were voting for Jack Shadilay, and they did so with like 97%. That voting bloc doing that now says, like, what they do is they take that and say, hey, we got all these votes, and we're going to all vote for you, but what are you going to do for us? And if you don't vote with us, we're going to take all of these votes, and we're going to put our support behind somebody else. It's what they tried doing to Chris Pollock. I know, because I spoke to the dude who basically said it. They said it very arrogantly, where it was like, oh, we have 6,500 Jewish votes in Jackson. He is not winning. That's what they said to me.
Yeah, he won.
And he didn't just win. He won by a landslide because a lot of people showed up for him.
Okay. And by people, we're talking non-Jewish voters?
Even Jewish voters. He got over 20% of the Jewish vote, Chris Pollock. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So the tides are shifting in Jackson, perhaps?
I think there's a group of people that, on both sides, that don't like what certain groups are doing. Remember, there's a lot of really good Jewish people that look really bad by these actions. The main comment that comes through my feed, no matter what it's about, Jackson, Brick, whatever, this town is finished. It's over. I don't know if you can stop them, and I'm not saying you can, but that doesn't mean you don't fight it. That doesn't mean you don't do what you can to do it. And you had people like Chris Pollock that he said, I'm going to do it the way of politics.
Okay, so Chris, I see these homes being built. Why are the locals so opposed to these houses being built? It seems still pretty peaceful out here. What's going on? What changes have you noticed?
Well, it's becoming rapid changes and rapid development. You're going to be seeing a heavy increase in the population, and I don't know if our town is suited to handle it. Unfortunately, I've heard from several people that some developments only particularly want one group in there. It's people have gone in there and asked, hey, I'm interested in these homes. Some of them have been told it's not for them. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It seems like it's only for one group in one community. And
who's that group?
It seems like it's only for the Jewish community. I'm going to be honest. But when you create a community, they have some of them that are adding shuls into it, essentially synagogues into it. They're fitting the houses to fit this very specific needs of one community. Do you think anybody other than that community is going to move into there?
They technically cannot discriminate against a non-Jew purchasing a home, right?
No, you cannot discriminate against anybody buying a home.
But they could just say, hey, sorry, we sold it to someone else.
Yes,
That's
they can.
legal.
I've heard people say, oh, we'll put you on the waiting list, because that's something that's going on.
LLCs are outbidding people trying to buy single-family homes.
Correct.
But you have a group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist. You are a white Jewish supremacist because they're classified white. They don't want to live as a community with us. I think, when I say they, again, I don't mean all of them.
I think this guy, I like how he says classified as white because he knows that they're not actually white. He seems to actually know a little bit more than what he's actually sharing here. He's just trying to play the optics game, which is very smart. I'll give him that.
But I do think I mean the far majority of them. I think they have their tight-knit community. I think their community lives completely separate than everybody else. They eat differently. They enjoy different things. Yes, we might drink, but everything is set in a different way.
As you ran for city council, did the rabbinical order try to buy you off?
I don't really have any relationship with the rabbis, but I have been taking a meeting with people who said they were liaisons to the rabbis. They went around touting how many votes they controlled. They told me pretty much straight out that they control certain politicians in town, and if I catered to their community, I might have access to the block vote.
Who did they say they control?
They said they control our mayor and our council president.
After a year, I couldn't bear it anymore. So I got involved. I hired a political campaign group out of Washington, D.C. that does political campaigns for Republican senators. I think they did Ted Cruz. And I wrote a letter to the mayor of
Fucking course is Ted Cruz.
Of Jackson, telling him all the things I was going to do if they wouldn't reverse these discriminatory laws. In the meantime, there's another Jewish group called the Aguda that had a lawsuit against Jackson based on RLUIPA. That's the Religious Land Use Institutionalized Persons Act. And it says that the municipality, it's a law, federal law, municipality is not allowed to discriminate based upon religion. And in their lawsuit, then showed all the emails from Jackson, all the things they were doing, conspiring against, executing to try to make life miserable for Orthodox Jews there.
But you went to work, and what happened next?
I went to Washington. I met with Ronna McDaniel, who was the head of the Republican National Committee, and the Speaker of the House at the time was Kevin McCarthy. He was actually in their conference room. So I met with both of them, showed them what was going on. They were shocked.
No, I think there's a lot to learn from the community. That's why I liked what we did yesterday. Their tactics benefit them. They are a solitary mass. They actually are a community. Yeah. You can't deny it. They are not fighting over Trump or Biden. They're not fighting over left or right. They're not fighting over masked or unmasked.
Us versus the world.
It's antimatter, right? It's like everyone in our towns, we're fighting against antimatter. We're not focused on what actually matters. We're not picking each other up. We're not one community. And I'm not talking about communism or any of that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about caring about the person. They hitchhike.
What other world will you see hitchhiking in America in 2026?
Nonstop, yeah.
That's a testament to how high trusting they all are.
So there's something to be said about that. And there's a lot. I would love to see our kids playing again off of.
Once again, I think this guy who's being interviewed right now does actually know or think a lot more than what he's letting on, because what he says is very normally safe as well. He packages it a lot better than I would ever do, because I just say it's just pure tribalism. Cause I just call it what it is. It's tribalism. I say this every single stream. I say it multiple times. Every single other ethnic group can have their own tribe except for white people. He's not specifically saying white people in this case, because that's where it becomes non-normie safe. That's where it's, racist and anti-Semitic and you're a Nazi because once you actually drop the white, once you add on the white part. But he is mentioning that the local community has no in-group preference, that they don't actually work together and they're very scattered. And that's an extremely important point out there, because that's exactly the case. Until people wake up and realize that, Jackson is cooked, like the Facebook says. They should still keep on fighting, but the only way you're going to be able to win this war if you actually have an army, not just random, mercenaries that are 1v1ing everything.
Getting out on bikes and getting out playing basketball and football and all of those things. I would love to see that. I'd love to see us act a little bit more like that.
We need to fight back against the state. God, we've had large lawsuits against us because they tried to keep out this problem. We've had the Department of Justice come down on us. Billionaires connected to the president involved in all this. What's happening in this little town in Jersey is bigger than people think.
And what's happening here in Jackson, will that become a problem in other small towns?
The globalists. I mean, he's not specifically saying that. The billionaires connected to the fucking president are getting involved what's happening within a very small community in New Jersey over Orthodox Jews. All I'm saying is, well, do they, I don't know, the possibility of them controlling everything, that's just such a far-fetched conspiracy theory. That's a little anti-Semitic, but then again, billionaires can be president over a small Orthodox. Makes one ponder over the issue.
It's already a problem in all the surrounding towns.
Is the cop gonna go? Okay. Get a shot of the cop. We got the corrupt police pulling us over for what? We'll find out. We may be in a corrupt hellhole. Double cop car. We're getting pulled over. We got double police, potentially nothing better to do. Let's find out. We weren't speeding. We weren't violating the law from the best of my understanding.
Do you have your driver's license registration?
What am I being pulled over for?
I'll tell you that soon.
Is there probable cause?
Yes, there is.
What
we got
exactly
a call.
is that?
We got a call on our phones
For
a suspicious person.
What's suspicious about me?
With video cameras.
There's nothing
in front of a
suspicious
school.
about expressing our First Amendment right.
No, you're good.
So what am I being pulled over for?
We got a call. Just so you know, you're being audio and visual recorded.
Sure,
okay?
likewise.
So we got a call from dispatch.
Sure.
Saying there's a vehicle.
Okay.
With 2 men in it, videotaping in front of a school. When we get a call for that, that's our probable cause to stop you because they described your vehicle. So I'm asking you.
What's illegal about the fact that we're recording?
There's nothing illegal about it.
Sure.
I don't care that you're recording because I'm recording too. I just don't know who you are. And I don't. But for my safety, I want you back in the car.
Well,
okay. So back to me talking to you.
My name's Tyler, by the way. How are
Jonathan
you?
Basillo. Nice to meet you, sir.
Good to meet you, yeah.
I'm stopping you. Can I have your credentials, please?
Do I have an obligation to self-identify right now?
I need you to identify yourself on this stop.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah,
We're
it's a
filming a little
lawful stop
documentary
because they
piece.
described your vehicle to a T.
Totally get it. I'm just trying to figure out if there's
Can
actual...
I just ask you a question?
Yeah, I can tell you what we're up to if that's...
I just want to know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Tyler.
Oh, very good. My name's Jonathan. Like, explain that
Yeah,
to
good
you.
to meet you.
I stopped you.
Totally get it. Yeah, we're just talking...
Okay, maybe I'm having a woman moment here, but Tyler arguing back and they're going in circles like this is not the solution. Like, I get why he's wondering why he's got stopped, but he can still give his license and registration for it. Like, it doesn't hurt him to do so. It's not like a credit score where you get dinged in that case. Like, it's just a probable stop, and he can be like, okay, why were you stopped? Okay, if people are probable cause, you're recording in front of a school. In that context, this sounds very sus why two grown men are in front of a school recording, right? You know, you explain the situation, what's going on here. The officer says, okay, no big deal, have a good day. Talking in circles and arguing against him and refusing to give his license and registration and repeating each other's names and stuff like that. That's not... I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good thing. Because if you're resisting, even if it's the cops are being corrupt right here, arguing against them is not going to help you because, well, I don't think Tyler's going to get violent here. That's the exact same problem that the black community has, where they resist arrest and then they get shot. Now, this is obviously the extreme version of, you know, arguing with the police officer, but it does you no good to fight back when you get pulled over.
Is it the Jews? Is it the Jews?
No.
I'm assuming it's always the Jews.
No, that does actually hurt you. Does it actually hurt you if they run your license registration? Like, it's just a traffic stop. It's not like you're getting pulled on a speeding ticket or a warning that goes on it. Like, it's so
about the changes in the town here.
Yeah.
We went to that school specifically because
but
it's shut down.
It's very. You see what I'm saying? Like when you have a camera in front of a school with kids. I mean,
can
if my
understand.
kids go to that school,
Sure.
I wouldn't want my kids to be video recorded.
Sure, we didn't enter the school. We were on the sidewalk.
It doesn't matter if you're in a certain distance of a
Okay.
school.
Okay, sure. You can have it.
And just do me a favor. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do so. Thank you.
Hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah, I just don't know what's in the car. Like I said, I don't know.
I think the cop is right in this case. So I do see some people bringing it up in chat. This is like the third or fourth time they've been stopped. I think it's a different day, but regardless, they've been harassed by the police and the fake police multiple times. So I can see by the fourth fucking call, whatever the case is, the police were like, okay, either something's up, like something has to be up, and so that's why they're taking this a bit more seriously too, which is anything more of a reason for Tyler to cooperate with them, so it doesn't hurt him even more. It just, yeah.
On.
I don't know who you are.
That seems a little extra.
No, that's
definitely extra, but you can have it. There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm not saying I'm giving you a ticket or
Sure.
anything like that. I'm just
You got the badge, man. Yeah, do your thing.
No, it has nothing to do with having a badge or anything like that.
Yep, stay near the car, okay? Don't come near us.
Is this slightly excessive?
It's absolutely excessive.
It seems like a bully tactic. Run around.
I mean, it is a bully tactic, 100%. The fact that they keep on calling the cops on them, and the cops keep on getting involved over really stupid stuff, though the claim of being in front of a school does sound like a serious one, even though it's a false report, and it's once again a bullying tactic to hurt them.
Place that phone call.
How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
How we doing?
Doing good, getting pulled over. You know what we're up against? Small town police department, small town politics, lots of money. All right, so apparently the reason why these cops came out of thin air is because who just got called?
Well, we're going to find out. The council president just called me.
So who is Morty Bernstein?
He is the council president in Jackson, New Jersey, and the most powerful man in the town.
Does he have the police in his pocket?
I don't think he has the police in his pocket at all, but the man does have an incredible amount of power. He's involved in political action committees with very rich and powerful developers, a lot of political connections.
Who are we messing with here right now, Chris? Was this a mistake? Is this video a mistake, man?
I'm going to be honest, the powers out here are pretty immense. Like I said, it goes up. You have billionaires from Lakewood being involved in what's going on in Jackson. People connected to the president of the United States.
If we zoom out, where does this all end?
Right now, it's...
Man, I hope this guy who's running for city council, mayor, what was he running for again? Sorry, I kind of lost track with how many people he's been talking with. But I know he's running for some sort of government office there to help with the locals. I hope he's okay. Like, I think he agreed to join this because it helps get the word out, the severity of the situation. Maybe he can get some support elsewhere. But this also puts a bigger target on him than he already has. And if these local communities have billionaires connected to the president, that's not exactly a good look. He should maybe make a post saying that he's not suicidal.
Gone to every town on the outskirts of Lakewood. They're buying up everything. Even if they're not occupying things are being bought up. I always say it's a real life game of Monopoly. So it's gone into Brick, and it's gone into Howell, and it's gone into Jackson and Toms River. Now it's going into Manchester. There are large portions of property being bought in South Jersey. We cannot keep up with this.
How do you combat a group of people chosen by God practicing rampant ethno-nepotism?
Here's a problem, bro. One Jewish dude in Manchester said to me this: you guys will never come together because you have no shared sense of purpose. And that hit me because he's fucking right. Jews have a shared sense of purpose in what their outcome's gonna be. And that's to expand the religion, that's expand their people. We don't have a shared sense of purpose. We're too busy arguing with each other. We're too busy talking Trump. We're too busy yelling about ICE. We're too busy focusing on Epstein's list. We don't have a shared sense of what is America and what are we trying to accomplish together. Americans don't have a shared sense of purpose about America. Jews have a shared sense of purpose in what their outcome's gonna be.
And the thing is, he's completely correct, but it's also purposely done on Americans, because we used to have a shared sense of purpose 50 plus years ago. But within a generation that's been completely distilled thanks to civil rights. Now everyone's an American. You simply just move here, get your citizenship, you're an American now. It's completely lost what actually an American is, which is people, white European descendants that have built America throughout the past, 200 years plus at this point. That's what an American is. But thanks to civil rights, and women getting the vote, it's been completely watered down. We have just a mass immigration. The Hart-Celler Act is letting everybody in under the fucking sun. And so then we build up all these ethnic enclaves. We're told they're just as American as you are because we're on a stolen land, but we're a nation of immigrants, and all this other propaganda bullshit. Religion's gone out the window, and while personally I'm a rooted atheist myself, I can understand that religion's actually quite important, and for a multitude of things, including instilling values, because they're taught via generation after generation, and that's exactly what the Jews are doing. That's why they have their specific schools that start with a Y. And so I know they mentioned it much earlier in the video, but I can't pronounce that shit there. And that's how they pass it down through essentially indoctrination over and over and over again. But that's how culture works. That's how values work. That's how generations move on and carry on the legacy of their ancestors. Is they're exactly that. And it's all died in America. It's been purposely done on us to split us, to make us weak, to allow us to happen, so we can have the Somalians in Minnesota, and then the left is screeching that ICE is evil and just the Gestapo themselves. So we can have these Hasidic Jews leeching off the taxpaying dollars to build their own religious communities. And this is happening all over the place in every single state. Every single state has this problem. While the ethnicities that they're fighting against might vary between Somalians, Muslims, Jews, Haitians, regular ass American blacks, or anything else in between, it's all the same thing because, well, congratulations, America's now 55% white, and Christianity is supposedly on the rise on Gen Z, but overall it's kind of dead. Like, I shouldn't say dead, because I know some people are going to be upset about that, but it's much weaker and completely been subverted by the Pope himself, at least in the case of Catholicism, that just doesn't have any effect anymore.
The only way that you're going to stop it, and the only way you can fight back about it, is by getting people that have a shared sense of purpose in the numbers that matter. Getting enough people with their eyes open to say, holy shit, something has to be done here. You have to get rid of the RLUIPA laws. I don't think it's ever been challenged by the Supreme Court. It has to be taken to the Supreme Court. I think it violates the Constitution. You have to fight fire with bigger fire. And the sad part about it is they have the biggest fires.
Agreed, and it fucking sucks. But until, people wake up and realize that, nothing's going to happen. And so far, there's been a resurgence of this stuff. I mean, I know not everybody in chat agrees with me here. There's obviously an optics problem, because I don't bother to follow optics, in my case. But there's a large amount of support here, and I'm very fucking small. I'm an absolute nobody in the grand scheme of things. But there's much bigger people out there, much larger than people than me. They advocate for very same, if not similar things as this. And the fact that this has grown throughout the years. I didn't have these opinions 5 years ago, because 5 years ago, I didn't realize as things were just as bad as they were, and I didn't have as much life experience. I didn't really see everything myself. But in the 5 years before that, I was definitely trying not to be racist as possible. And I was like a borderline SJW, or actually I was a SJW and all this fun stuff. Because there's a lot of propaganda in place to stop us from working together and actually be okay to be white. Like, I remember back in like 2016, maybe it was like 2017, somewhere in that time period, college campuses were putting signs that it'd be okay to be white, and they'd be taken down and kicked out. And, that was fucking bullshit then, and it's bullshit now. Like, it's totally fine to be white. And in fact, you should be proud of it. There's lots of benefits to being white, actually. We literally built fucking civilization. You'd be happy you're not some 78 IQ fucking retard from India. But, we still can't say that. I should get a different link, not this one. But we still can't fucking say that. So it's gonna be more popular because of everything that's been pushed down to us ever since the end of World War II. But it's growing. It's a good sign, but by the time that anything actually gets done, well, there's obviously already a lot of damage has been done by now. By the time a lot more people wake up to this, and somebody takes charge and leaves to solve the problem, that's a different story. But for now, we have to sit, patiently wait, keep on pushing the narrative, keep on talking about the different issues at hand. Once again, full fucking respect. Shout out to Tyler Oliveria. I don't care if he's literally 9 million subscribers or anything like that. There's a link to the video in the description. If you want to put it on mute and watch the first like 10 minutes of it, comment and like it as well. That way it gives a boost in the algorithm, because what he is doing actual legit work. Going in person himself into these areas to actually see what's happening, interviewing these people, listening to what they have to say and the fucking lies that they fucking spew out of themselves. To show the world how bad the situation actually is. Without him or Nick Shirley or anybody else who does this stuff, we wouldn't know about this stuff. Like, I wouldn't know this existed. If he told me it did, I wouldn't be surprised. But actually seeing it first, well, secondhand in this case, really, digs the knife in a bit deeper for how severe the situation is. And this is a small little town in New Jersey, or suburb, I should say. Imagine everywhere else. So it's pretty dire, and we need to get the word out for that. Let me see here. I know I was getting behind in super chats again. My apologies. Just trying to get through the video. Hopefully you guys understand. I'm sorry. Normally I don't do anything that's longer than an hour for this reason. But, I mean, come on. A little bit of anti-Semitism is good for the soul. Thank you, LJ Saga, for the $20 videos. Thank you. And no message. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, thank you for the $20. But, still, just nothing stopping that meat down. And thank you, LJ Saga, for the $5 videos. The real problem is we're still playing by our rules/laws and theirs, and no other people follow any rule except what they want. Yes, exactly. But that's because we're too scared. Well, it's not even a part of it is fear, right? But the fear is reasonable because, as you can clearly see by the people he's interviewing in the video, like the redheaded chick, or the guy in blue, or the guy running for city mayor, council, whatever he was. I'm so sorry. They were being openly attacked. Let's see what it be. Township council. There we go. And called anti-Semitic and chased out and literally getting the call. Like, this guy literally got the fucking call at the end of the video, and he looked very, very concerned about the situation. Like, he's clearly upset. Thank you, Sexion, for the 500 warp tokens. Thank you. And thank you, Soul in the Lich, for the $10 videos. Like some people that claim that they was Kongs and shit. They are given land to do all their things, and they didn't stay there. They come to annoy the Gentiles a lot of skullduggery. Yes. Which is more of a reason to kick them the fuck out. And thank you, Kazusi Handler, for the 5 subby puppies gifted in over on Kick. Thank you. Very generous. We need to give Kick Bros some more love. Because Kick Bros are superior bros. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I thank you, Clarky, for the $2 videos. Thank you. The mutant turtle Jews were funny at the time. But there's the fact that some creepy stuff going on underneath that synagogue. Oh, is this like the Tunnel Jews? You have a link to the Tunnel Jews there, which is literally my fucking alert because it's absolutely hilarious. Even though that mattress with the blood on it was a little bit concerning to say the least. But we won't ask too many questions here, because I mean that's anti-Semitic after all. Obviously they're good, innocent people. I mean, they're literally chosen by God. They were promised land 3,000 years ago that they apparently won't return to, even though they literally have it for themselves. A little bit frustrating, but it's fine. A little bit frustrating, but it's totally fine. Fucking dandy. Why can't they go back to the sandbox? I mean, only land simple. The money is too good. Well, the thing is, they do both, right? Like, they stay here because of the luxuries of America, but they still go back to Israel for all the benefits there. So, they're just awful people. Oh shit, that's right. Hey mods, if you're still around, can you guys do a host for me on Kick, or is that something only I can do? Hold on, wait a second. Well, maybe refreshing. Okay, refreshing helps. So for some reason, okay, refreshing worked. Never mind. Ignore me. For like the past like week or two, for some reason, Kick doesn't allow me to chat. Like no matter who it is, I can't chat on Kick. It has me locked. I'm not sure if it's like a VPN issue or what it is. At first, when I first realized that, I thought it was actually banned on the person's channel, and I was mildly upset because I was just like, no, why'd you ban me? I didn't do anything. No, then I found out it's literally everyone's. And it was happening to me right then and there, but I've refreshed and it works. So hopefully I can actually chat on other people's things again. So, I don't know. Kick's actually pretty sensitive when it comes to VPNs, but oh well. Anyways, Anyways, tomorrow I'll be having Under the Bridge on V on his live stream channel. Be there or be square. We will not be doing the for session 0 for the vampire campaign, streaming it at least because Arch is gay. But after that is done, I will have my my Saturday collab with Temp to play Resident Evil 5 and try not to slur. Try not to slur too much while playing that game. A nice little fun little break from the week of politics there. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and also the fact that because I know not everybody stays for game streams, and I totally understand that. I respect it. However, if you like vampire Nazis, on Sunday, I'm assuming 4 p.m., but don't quote me on that time, that's when we officially starting the campaign for you, the viewers, to actually watch on Arch's channel. And even if you don't like, games, like, come on, Nazi vampires, come on, you have to check that out. You have to check out Nazi vampires, okay? And that's gonna be Sunday, okay? Anyways, thank you for all your sub bubbies, donos, and vigorous spankings. I'll see you guys tomorrow. YouTube bros, I am sending you over to Celestium. She's not political, so don't bring up politics, so don't be gay like that. Kick bros, I'm sending you guys over to Arch. Same guy for the vampire campaign thing. He's technically political, but stay on topic because that's respectful, okay? So don't be gay in that way. And again, once again, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Good night. Bye. Hasta la vista. Bye.
I mean, hey, if Pac-Man affected us as kids, we'd all be munching magic pills and listening to repetitive electronic music, am I right?